as we welcome Adriana Byers to sing.
Wait, it's like in the yellow.
We might have to extend the break.
How come it's in the yellow? Something's wrong. Something's super wrong. See that? It's in the yellow right now.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
It's the dog days of summer and aspiring Hyannis.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference.
Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself.
Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Brian's the son of Cotuit Athletic Association President Fran Maycock.
Is up for grabs. Tonight, the Harbor Hawks travel to Lowell Park in Cotuit for a date with the Kettleers team that run-rolled them on their home turf at McKeon Park earlier this month. Hello, everyone from inside the broadcast booth. I'm Max Schwartzberg alongside Giovanni Collada. Welcome to Harbor Hawks baseball. And Gio, the Harbor Hawks look to pull themselves out of a slump headlined by free passes. Last night, however, they played a clean brand of baseball on the mound, but it was the bats that let them down.
That's the paradoxical thing about it, Max, is that the bats actually found their legs closer to the end of that game as well after a couple of dormant days. But take the free passes part of that for starters. They only walked 2 last night, did not hit a batter, or only hit 1 batter, Max, for the first time in a while. And they also didn't commit an error. And for this Harbor Hawks team that slumped through the month of July, free passes have marred all of those losses because they've committed 10+ in now 4 out of 7 games. However, you mentioned the bats, and 9 strikeouts, the number to look at last night. If you're trying to point to something for the bats as to the reason why they fizzled late in this game when the pitching delivered one of its better performances of the summer, it's exactly why. We saw 3 strikeouts from a couple of batters last night, Max, and they'll have to limit the punch-outs tonight against a very good Cotuit team.
Well, this is a slumping Harbor Hawks team, kind of the reverse for Cotuit. And the last time that these two teams played at Lowell Park was on June 21st, and that was a different Cotuit team, especially in terms of the offense.
It sure was, Max. 6 Kettleers, though, in the lineup on June 21st are in the lineup tonight. So for the second night in a row, Hyannis faces a team that's got some consistency to its squad, where the Harbor Hawks haven't enjoyed that. But you're right, Max. This is a Cotuit team that on that June 21st game was dead last in the Cape League with 10 runs, more than 11 less than the next team. And it's a squad, Max, that's in recent weeks found its legs because of consistent hitting from guys like Ryan Farber, Jack Natilli, and Camden Johnson, a couple of mainstays in the lineup tonight. Look for Hyannis to have its hands full potentially with a couple of those bats.
Well, before the game, I was able to catch up with manager Mitch Carricker. Max Schwartzer here with Hyannis manager Mitch Carricker.
What was the number you wanted me to say?
Last time you were here at Lowell Park, your squad was playing some of the best baseball of the summer. How do you want to get back to that tonight?
Yeah, I think we talked about it a little bit last night, just consistency in everything that we do. It starts on the mound and defense, and try to limit the free bases on both sides of that, and then putting some good at-bats together.
And Eddie Copper going to make his first start of the summer for you tonight. What do you really want to see from him?
I think, what's made him successful is being able to command the strike zone, get into his breaking ball, which is really, really good, will be important. He's got a tough lineup ahead of him tonight, but we got full confidence in him.
And you got a new face at third base in Miles Davis. What are you most excited about seeing from the new guy?
Yeah, he's a young guy from a junior college, and he's got incredible tools, and he flashed out a little bit in BP today, and so excited to see what he can do.
Thanks so much, Coach. Guys. And Gio, Mitch Carricker's going to ask for a lot from a guy like Eddie Copper making his first start of the summer.
He sure is. Copper has only stretched past the first inning once this summer. 1 2/3 is his longest outing on June 24th at Falmouth. And since the July 1st game against Harwich, which was a 2-2 tie between the Harbor Hawks and Mariners, Eddie Copper has really struggled in his lone innings of work in each of the Orleans games on July 5th and the June 8th game against Bourne, his last 2 appearances, Max. He's allowed 7 runs across those 2 innings with 4 strikeouts and 6 hits. Eddie Copper, despite a good start to this season, hasn't had some of the same stuff in recent weeks, and now Mitch Carricker looks to get him atop the bump against a Cotuit team that can maybe reverse that for him.
And Gio, you mentioned a little bit earlier about how Hyannis has not enjoyed the same sense of consistency in terms of roster turnover. However, kind of an example tonight, you got a new guy at third base in Miles Davis.
Yeah, Miles Davis comes into this lineup after a flurry of transactions over the last couple of days. A rising sophomore out of the State College of Florida, Manatee, Sarasota. And now a new face at third, but it also sends a familiar face at third over to first base in Ray Velasquez, where in the last time he played there on July 6th against Bourne, Max, he really struggled with a couple of errors in that game. We'll see how Velasquez holds up at first base and bats 8th tonight, looking to reverse a slump.
Well, Jake Schaffner, the UNC Tar Heel, going to go left on left tonight against the starter Bo Sampson for Cotuit. Schaffner had a big double against the left-handed pitcher last night, and Hyannis' loss. Kind of another one of those heartbreakers, Gio, when you really take into account that the pitching was executing the bats. You couldn't say the same thing. First pitch is in there for strike 1 to Schaffner, and the lefty in the windup kicks and fires. There's the breaking ball right in the outer half, and he jumps ahead of Jake, 0-2. Outfield straight away on Schaffner, who's got speeds. 0-2 breaking ball outside. A ball and 2 strikes to Schaffner, who's coming off a 3-game hitting streak.
And Bo Sampson atop the bump for Cotuit on his way to Tulane.
0-2's chopped down the first base line out ahead.
And for Sampson at Oklahoma, not many of his starts stretched very deep. He only got through 10 2/3 innings in his first year with the Sooners. A Cotuit returner, though, who played in 2 games for the Cats last summer.
On a 1-2 pitch, Schaffner chases a breaking ball in the dirt. The catcher, Jack Natilli, will throw him out to complete out number 1. 1 batter, 1 strikeout for Bo Sampson.
The shortstop, the third baseman, number 35, Miles Davis.
Kind of a rare strikeout there, Gio. And we mentioned Jake Schaffner says the toughest pitch to hit in baseball is the left-on-left slider. He gets that right there, and he comes up empty.
And you see just how difficult it is for a bat to get around to that pitch, but this is sort of what Cotuit's used to through 2 games from Bo Sampson. 6 strikeouts in 5 innings.
So the Harbor Hawk debut of Miles Davis, right-handed hitter from State College of Florida, Manatee, Sarasota, a junior college. He was originally committed to Iowa, but did not end up going and had a great freshman year at JUCO. Swings at the 1-0 and skies it foul off to the right side out of play. 44 games this past spring, a .378 average, 6 home runs. How about 39 runs scored and 37 ribbies? On a 1-1 pitch, Davis takes outside. Tried to go with that backdoor breaking ball, but Sampson misses. And the advantage count goes to the Hyannis third baseman. He's got power and the outfield straight away. 2-1 well inside. 3 balls and a strike.
And Max, on a night for the bats that was among its worst this season, an infusion of novelty could be just what the doctor ordered. We've seen a lot of newcomers this summer come in and have an immediate impact.
3-1 fastball misses upstairs at the letters, ball 4. A 1-out walk to Miles Davis, and Ryan McKay coming up to the plate.
The DH, Michigan State, number 5, Ryan McKay.
McKay comes in with a .325 average. That was as high as .390 at one point, Gio, but he has cooled down a bit over the last week and a half, kind of cooling down with the Hyannis offense as a whole. Davis on first. First pitch, fastball up and in, 1-0.
And you're exactly right, Max, that McKay's slide has coincided with that of his entire hitting unit. But DHing today for McKay could be the best thing for him.
Chops one foul at the plate, and that will find the grass by the on-deck circle. So Davis remains at first base. McKay, the Michigan State Spartan. He broke a 17-game on-base streak dating back to Michigan State against these Kettleers back on July 2nd. Scoreless here in the top of the first inning at Lowell Park in Cotuit. 1-1 pitch coming up to Ryan McKay. Sampson fires, and the slider gets him late, 1-2.
That's been the focal point of McKay's recent stretch of hitting, that he's been a little swing happy, Max. We've seen him take some chances that he did not take earlier in the season when that average floated a hair under 400 to lead the Cape League for a stretch of time.
On a 1-2 pitch, McKay swings and misses through the breaking ball and strikes out. Another one down in the dirt, and that pitch left on left looks really good so far today, Gio.
It sure does for Bo Sampson. A couple of breaking balls to strike guys out. Not normally what you've seen against a couple of powerful bats in Davis and McKay. He missed on that breaking ball to Davis, and hence he's on first base, but he gets it there to McKay.
So Devin Mitchell, the incoming transfer to NC State, will have to wait to throw over to first. So you got a JUCO guy on first, a former JUCO guy at the plate, and I said it back on the broadcast when Mitchell made his debut. It's just a testament to how talented junior colleges have come. It's been really cool to see a guy like that make an impact. First pitch, fastball up and away, 1-0.
Good baseball is good baseball no matter where it's played, Max. Whether it's at Florence Darlington Tech in South Carolina or at the State College of Florida like Miles Davis. And these are a couple of guys that really did well at those places this past spring.
On a 1-0 pitch, Mitchell takes a fastball upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. He fell behind Davis pretty early. He does it here to Mitchell. So it looks like so far, at least against left-handed hitters, Bo Sampson on the hill feels more comfortable. Scoreless game here in the top of the first, and the 2-0 breaking balls right on the outside corner.
It figures with the matchup objectively, Max, with the favorable lefty-righty matchup, but for Sampson, it's been a jarring difference. He's missed that spot on the inside specifically with the breaking ball, whereas that's been his go-to pitch for lefties.
2-1 pitch is fouled back to the screen. So the count level at 2-2, and an opportunity for Bo Sampson to strike out the side here in the top of the first inning. Sampson, a rising sophomore at Oklahoma, teammates with Jackson Willits and Jason Walk. 2-2 pitch to Mitchell is at the top, but a little bit high. 3 balls and 2 strikes, and that one was close.
Phenomenal take by Devin Mitchell. A breaking ball high at the hands. Just lays off it. You could see him hitch as he was thinking about it. But he lays off and runs the count full.
Davis will be on the run, and the 3-2 pitch is swung through. How about Bo Sampson striking out the side here in the top of the first inning? We'll head to the bottom half, scoreless.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
Hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Eddie Copper going to make his starting pitching debut here this summer. He's been used largely as a relief pitcher for Mitch Carricker. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, it's been the walks that have been really getting to him. 6 walks in 7 innings, an 11.57 earned run average. But the strikeouts have been there, Gio. A K per 9, just under 13. So kind of the story of this Hyannis pitching staff really all season long.
It sure has for Eddie Copper, and especially for the incoming transfer to Charlotte. He's pitched 1 inning in each of his last 3 appearances, Max, and struck out 2 batters in each of those innings. So the strikeout numbers have been there, as they always have for Hyannis, as the Harbor Hawks lead the Cape League along with Falmouth in that metric. But the runs have not coincided with that. He's allowed 7 runs in his last 2 appearances alone while allowing 6 hits. And Copper has a golden opportunity to get back on the right track against a Cotuit team that strikes out a lot.
Well, we mentioned it, but the last time that these two teams played here at Lowell Park was June 21st. Cotuit at that point had 10 runs scored on the season entering that game. They had 1 extra base hit on the season, and now they've tied Hyannis for the highest batting average at .259 in the Cape League. So the start of the Hyannis season and Cotuit season almost inverse, but how it's going also inverse.
And the key part of that last game, or at least the first one these two teams played here at Lowell Park, Max, is that Hyannis is without all 3 of its runs in that game, courtesy of second baseman Chris Rembert. A couple of long balls that gave essentially gave Hyannis a 3-1 win in that game.
The left-handed hitting Dean West will lead it off. The UCLA Bruin takes downstairs from Copper 1-0. Off to a 3-16 start in 12 games for the Kettleers. Copper working from the windup. On a 1-0 pitch, West takes a fastball that misses off the plate. 2 balls in, no strikes. And Copper going to be careful here, Gio. You don't want to go to the 3-ball count of the leadoff man.
However, as much as we talk about Copper's struggles in the last couple of outings, he has shown very good fastball command this year.
2-0 pitch to West is swung on and fouled into the catcher's mitt of Brody Briggs, getting the start tonight.
You see it right there with the heater, and I think I point to that outing on June 27th at Orleans, where he came in for the final out of the game and got the K.
Copper kicks and fires, and a fly ball to center field. Shallow. Charlie Bates coming in, still going. He will slide, and it's off his glove. The ball just hung in the air for an eternity, and it's a leadoff single for Dean West.
We saw a couple of these yesterday. Let's eat one for each defense in that game against the Wareham Gatemen at home. Hayden Yost in center field had a sliding grab that many thought he made but was overturned. And then Devin Mitchell misjudged the ball in right field. Not much correlation in terms of the location, Max, but odd that we've seen it so often in the past 2 games.
Another left-handed hitter, Caden Bogenpole, who we saw against Hyannis back on July 2nd. Very tall at 6'6", 240. Rising sophomore at Missouri State. 226 average to start the night for Bogenpole, with Dean West on first base. On the 0-1 count, here's the pitch. It's check swung, and he did not go around.
This is a Cotuit team that got started early, but not till the third inning in a huge win over Bourne yesterday, 10-3 at Doran Park. A 3-run third inning, followed up by a 6-run seventh for the Kets.
1-1 pitch is on the outside corner, kind of a start and stop for Dean West on first base. Well, the Kettleers team on June 21st, when the Hyannis squad traveled here the first time, had a team 160 batting average. That has been raised to 259 to tie Hyannis for first in the Cape League. Runner goes and stops, and the fastball misses off the plate. Count level at 2. 8 pitches so far for Eddie Copper. He's had to work through the first hitter plus. You got 6 lefties and 1 switch hitter in the lineup for Cotuit tonight. Runner goes at first. The pitch is a ball. The throw on from Briggs is in time. Brody Briggs with ice in those veins guns down the leadoff runner, and that single is erased.
Well, Dean West hasn't shied away from trying to steal bases. He's now 2 of 7 on the season. But for Brody Briggs, that's runner caught stealing number 5 of the year after a stretch where he started 3 for 3.
Full count pitch is swung through, strike 3. You got the caught stealing and then the K. And just like that, 2 outs for the number 3 hitter, Ryan Farber, switch hitter, batting left-handed.
That's something Hyannis hasn't had enough of in this recent stretch of games, Max. Help from the defense. A caught stealing and then the strikeout. How do you think Eddie Copper's feeling now, coming off a couple of difficult outings, making his first start?
Well, the last time Copper pitched was that nightmare 6-hour loss against Bourne on Tuesday. And in that game alone, Hyannis had 4 errors. First pitch fastballs at the bottom of the zone to Ryan Farber, strike 1. And Hyannis, it looked like they turned that page with the 9-5 win over Falmouth, but then just more struggles coming after that. 0-1 the count, and the pitch to Farber is a curveball at the bottom of the zone. He's gone back to that similar location, but with 2 different types of pitches, and he jumps ahead 0-2. Looking to face the minimum here in the last of the first inning. We're scoreless at Lowell Park. 0-2 the count, and the pitch is bounced in. Nice stop by Brody Briggs, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Ryan Farber is a guy that has liked to play against Hyannis in 2 games this year. A key double in the explosive 7th inning for the Kettleers to seal that run rule win. And then on June 21st, he also collected a couple of hits.
1-2 pitch is reached for and served to left field. Sawyer Black on the run towards the line. He gets there and makes the final out of the inning. Eddie Copper faces the minimum here in the first inning. We're scoreless from Lowell Park. We'll head to the top of the second.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They are ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
Jeff Luigi will lead it off for Mitch Carricker, and it's a lefty-heavy part of the order. 3 consecutive southpaws. Jeff Luigi, Charlie Bates, and Brody Briggs. With the right hand hitting Ray Velasquez a chance if anybody gets on base. It's safe to say, Gio, that in that first inning, Bo Sampson really took advantage of those left-on-left matchups.
He sure did. A couple of breaking balls that dotted the outer corner to lefties. Difficult spot to try and get a bat around, especially on breaking balls, the lefty-lefty matchup. But he missed to that same spot against the righties, Miles Davis and Devin Mitchell. And oddly enough, they both took in similar spots. But he went to the wipeout fastball to K. Devin Mitchell and end the inning. So I imagine we'll see more of that heater from Bo Sampson.
Well, Jeff Luigi, talking about a heater. He's on a heater. He has been on fire for Hyannis really since the start of this week. He's raised his batting average to .333. He has an .844 OPS on the season now, and he is coming off a couple excellent performances had an RBI triple against Orleans, and then more of the same last night. So he's just been on fire and looking to continue the good times in a tough matchup right here.
And before that, he's coming off that 3-for-3 performance against Orleans.
And he shows the bunt, and he gets it down, but right to the pitcher, Sampson, who spins and fires. The throw gets away. Luigi will remain anchored at first base. And Hyannis catches a break early.
Got to feel nice for the Harbor Hawks to get some free passes that favor them for once. And that was not something that came last night with both teams submitting a clean sheet error-wise. For Jeff Luigi, you see why you run everything out in the event of something like that. Easy play turns into potential damage for Charlie Bates.
Charlie Bates swings at the first pitch and fouls it off himself. He was out ahead of the breaking ball with Luigi on first base. Still waiting for the official ruling on the play. Bates pulled himself out of an 0-for-19 last Sunday against Brewster, and since then he's been on an absolute tear. 0-1 breaking ball is outside, and the count level at 1 with Luigi on first base.
Another single last night for Bates as well. That average is now a shade under 330 with a couple of clutch hits in the past week. Been a resurgent appearance at the plate.
Luigi runs at first. They got him picked off. The throw to second is in time. Caught stealing. 1-3-6. He actually reached on an E3. It was a missed catch by Case Sanderson. And that's now erased.
And that's the third out of 4 games for Jeff Luigi where he's had an odd appearance on the base paths. Last night he was caught in a rundown in the 9th inning. A couple nights ago against Falmouth, he forgot to tag second base on his way back to first.
1-1 fastball's on the outside corner, 1-2. And during this kind of skid that Hyannis has gone through, they've also been making a lot of base running blunders pretty frequently. On a 1-2 pitch, Charlie Bates takes down and away. There was that breaking ball in the dirt. And the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes with now nobody on base. Scoreless here in the top of the 2nd inning from Lowell Park. The 2-2 pitch to Bates is swung through, strike 3. Goes to that wipeout slider and make it 4 strikeouts on the day for Bo Sampson.
All swinging as well for the future member of the Tulane Green Wave. And you can see the effect of a mistake like that from Jeff Luigi. Not even as much his fault as it was good recognition from Bo Sampson in conjunction with Case Sanderson, the first baseman, and Ryan Farber, the second baseman, to catch Luigi asleep. And now 2 outs for Brody Briggs.
And he swings and launches the first pitch to right, and that's going to dunk in front of the right fielder, Nolan Stevens, for a base hit. Brody Briggs, after a good start in the bottom of the 1st inning, throwing out a runner, gets a hit here in the top of the 2nd.
23, Ray Velasquez, first baseman.
And 2-out rallies have been something for Hyannis that have not come all too often. Last night was their first 2-out rally since a week and a half ago, Max, at least in the later innings of a game. And now for Hyannis and Ray Velasquez, this is a golden opportunity to turn things around.
First pitch to Ray, taken up and away with the fastball, 1-0. It's been a tough stretch for Velasquez, spanning from mid-June to here in mid-July. He's 1 for his last 21 at the plate with 7 punch-outs. The Vanderbilt transfer now at Austin Peay. 2 outs in the inning with Briggs on first. And the 1-0 breaking ball is at the knees, 1-1. Velasquez had 18 home runs this past spring at Austin Peay. Still looking for number 1 on the Cape. Time called by the home plate umpire, trying to warn Bo Sampson that he needs to make eye contact with Velasquez before he could start his motion. On a 1-1 count, Velasquez golfs it to center. It's shallow. Incoming Bogenpole, and it falls in front of him. Brody Briggs stops at second base. They'll play station to station. And just like that, back-to-back singles. And the number 9 man, Sawyer Black, coming up.
And flipping the order through 2 innings has behooved Hyannis all season long, at least in the early goings of the year. And to be frank, it hasn't happened a whole lot since the calendar flipped to July. And Sawyer Black knows a thing or two about 3-run home runs. He had one on July 9th against Falmouth.
Left on left. Hyannis 0 for 4 against the left-handed starter as left-handed hitters in the box. Sawyer Black takes the slider down and away. And if you don't remember, we mentioned that Hyannis, despite being a very lefty-heavy team, they have 6 lefties in the lineup right now. They have a .310 batting average against left-handed starters, but they haven't had that same success as Black fouls it into the Hyannis dugout, and the count level at a ball and a strike apiece. Brody Briggs on second base. Ray Velasquez on first. Hyannis looking to make some noise here in the top of the second inning. A scoreless affair between Hyannis and Cotuit. And the pitch to Black is hitting the air to left center field. On the run, Dean West, and he will get there to make the catch for the final out of the inning. Hyannis puts 2 on base, but they're not able to score. 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the second.
This week we've been working a lot with doing play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes stuff with sports broadcasting, which I never really realized how much went into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never really done like a program like this before, so like seeing all the behind-the-scenes has like really grown.
I've learned how to really just gain confidence in my play-by-play speaking, and I've learned more terms here when it comes to directing and producing, and I've just had a great time with John Rook.
Doing the play-by-play stuff and all that, being with a guy like John Rook, understanding what like the major kind of entails doing this camp, just really a preview for what you do here at Dean or any other college doing broadcasting, so I'm definitely more prepared to make this a job of mine.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Eddie Copper faced the minimum back in the first inning after Brody Briggs threw out a runner, and he's going to face 4, 5, 6 for Cotuit. Jack Natilli, Nolan Stevens, Cam Johnson. Anybody gets on, Luke Matthews will have a chance. And Copper, it seemed like it was a momentum shift after that throw from Brody Briggs, because then he was nails. He was in the strike zone and getting consistent outs.
It sure was. Help from your defense, always a good thing if you're a starting pitcher. And we see some of those double plays have an effect on innings. Take the last inning as an example of that for Hyannis. Jeff Luigi reaches on the error, then gets caught in that rundown, and Charlie Bates strikes out a pitch later. Well, that certainly deflates things for the guys that come up after. But Brody Briggs and Ray Velasquez able to show flashes of a 2-out rally before Sawyer Black flew out. And how about this for Eddie Copper, Max? This is his first time stretching to the second inning all season long. His longest outing is at Falmouth on June 24th thus far, 1 2/3 innings. So we'll see if he can match that here with a trio of outs.
Jack Natilli takes the first pitch at the knees. 0-1. Natilli was named Cape League Player of the Week earlier tonight. And a .292 average, .997 OPS. How about 5 home runs to lead the Kettleers? On an 0-1 pitch, he swings through the slider, and Eddie Copper jumps ahead, 0-2. Copper struck out Caden Bogenpole back in the first inning, so 1 K on the day. But he's got electric stuff that could change on this pitch. The 0-2, slider down and away. He went back to the exact same pitch, but this time Natilli thinks better of it. Copper in the windup. And the 1-2 pitch is swung through, strike 3. How about tripling up on that slider, and that one gets Natilli.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Max. Go to the breaking pitch 3 times in a row if you're Eddie Copper, if that's what's going to work for you. We saw Bogenpole go down to the heater. Here you get the slider, especially to a righty. Coming out of the hand of a righty can be really difficult to chase that around, especially where Copper put it low in the zone. This is impressive stuff from the starter.
Nolan Stevens at the plate, the rising sophomore at Mississippi State. And the first pitch fastball is at the bottom of the zone. No balls and a strike. Stevens, a .227 average, 2 home runs, 15 hits for the Kettleers so far this summer. Going left on right. And the 0-1 pitch is chopped to second base, straight away for Jeff Luigi. And he slings to first in time for the second out of the inning.
For 12,
This is a difficult part of the order for Eddie Copper as well, and he's done a very good job so far of navigating it because, Max, from the two-hitter Caden Bogenpole to now Camden Johnson, who's coming up to the plate, those are 5 of the 6 Kettleers that were in the lineup for the June 21st game. 4 of them were also in the lineup on July 2nd, the last time these two teams met. And so that familiarity hasn't carried over yet for Cotuit, and maybe because they didn't face Eddie Copper in either of those games.
First pitch to Cam Johnson is a breaking ball off the plate. Eddie Copper now 4 consecutive pitches going to that slider. And if it's working, you mentioned, Gio, don't stop. Johnson in at 272 OPS, just a hair under 670. And the 1-0 fastball is slapped foul off to the left and out of play. Count level at 1.
Yours courtesy of the Kettle Hole Restaurant.
13 home runs on the summer for Cotuit. The youngest team in the Cape League. Just younger than Hyannis. Average age is 20 flat. Hyannis 20.2 years. 1-1 to Johnson is a breaking ball right on the outside corner. Didn't like the call from Joe Carrico, but he falls behind 1-2.
You also got a brand new head coach in Lauren Hibbs, who just took over for Mike Roberts this year. So a lot of novelty for this Cotuit team this year, going through a first summer on the Cape for a lot of these guys.
1-2 changeups down low. Count level at 2-2. And I guess if you take into account the draft being tomorrow, probably being tonight.
Today, yeah.
Probably Hyannis and Cotuit, the teams that are going to be affected the least by that, considering their youth.
It hasn't really befell Cotuit, but Hyannis has got the brunt of it.
2-2 is in the air, foul off to the left.
And by that, I mean that Hyannis' roster has been in flux most of the month of July, with a couple of key players leaving. Meanwhile, Cotuit, as we mentioned, has that consistency to have so many familiar faces in the lineup for games against Hyannis. And that's exactly what we saw with Wareham last night as well, where 5 of the 9 played in the 2 games against the Harbor Hawks.
2-2 is down in the dirt. Skips back to the backstop, so the count will run full. 26 pitches, 16 strikes for Eddie Copper. Looking to go 1-2-3 here. Looking to go 1-2-3 here in the second and face the minimum in as many frames. On a 3-2 count, the pitch is outside, ball 4. The first walk of the day issued by Eddie Copper, and that will extend the inning for Luke Matthews.
And something we probably didn't talk about enough yesterday, Max, was the fact that Hyannis only issued 2 walks yesterday in a game that it lost as well. It's issued as many as 10 walks on multiple occasions this season, and that's something to look at as a positive for Mitch Carricker. And Eddie Copper will have to deal with one here.
Luke Matthews takes a fastball in the inner half, 0-1. Yeah, kind of a paradoxical game for Hyannis because it's been the pitching that has been unsteady. The hitting's been very good, but last night kind of polar opposites, and the team was just out of sync. One was firing on all cylinders, the other wasn't. Runner starts and stops, and Matthews takes a strike. Nothing in 2, and it's good to see Copper jump right back ahead after the base on balls.
And I wonder how much of that decision not to steal from Camden Johnson based on what Brody Briggs has done. He's 10 of 13 this season on stolen bases.
Copper kicks and fires. The runner goes. The pitch is outside. The throw down is not in time. Cam Johnson swipes second base, and a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the second inning where we're scoreless at Lowell Park.
Spoke too soon, Max. Looks like Camden Johnson not afraid of Brody Briggs behind the dish. He swipes another bag this year, and now Cotuit's got something going against Eddie Copper.
Pitch is chopped to third base. The new Harbor Hawk Miles Davis slings to first. It's a low throw, and it's not in time. The runner comes around to score. Luke Matthews beats it out, and Johnson comes around.
Some running on the infield single from Luke Matthews. Davis's throw just takes Velasquez off the plate. He's got the stretch. He digs it out, but that back foot a hair off the bag per the first base umpire, Jeff Merzel. And heads up base running from Camden Johnson to, yes, stay put at third as the throw gets into Velasquez, but then to take off once he sees him go by the first baseman.
Case Sanderson hits the first pitch off to the left, foul and out of play. Well, Miles Davis kind of took his time on that one, and the throw was low. That cost him even more time, and that shows how important that stolen base was for Johnson to get in scoring position to come around on the infield hit. Now 1-0 Cotuit lead here in the last of the second inning. On a 0-1 pitch, Sanderson lines it to center. Bates on the run. He will have to play it on a hop. As Matthews stops at second base, they'll play station to station and back-to-back singles. Now 3 consecutive Kettleers to reach here in the second.
And this is the exact 2-out rally Hyannis was looking for a frame ago, Max, with those couple of singles after 2 quick outs. It's also where we've seen Eddie Copper begin to struggle after a couple of quick outs in each of his outings. Take that June 8th marathon against Bourne, the 5.5-hour game in that explosive 6th inning. You fly out, ground out, then walk, hit by pitch, walk, hit by pitch, single.
Easton Winfield takes inside for ball 1. Fastball that got him straightened up. Hyannis still 1 pitch away of getting out of this inning and keeping the damage at 1 run.
And we mentioned that the free passes, specifically walks, decreased yesterday, but those walks came at unopportune times.
1-0 pitch is on the ground and by the dive of Jeff Luigi into right center field. Here comes Matthews. He'll score. The throw goes into second. An RBI single for Easton Winfield, and the Kettleers jump out to a 2-0 lead.
And to that point, Max, with the free passes, you see how this walk has exploded to compound against Eddie Copper. You get the walk after 2 quick outs. The stolen base gets a guy in the scoring position, changes the philosophy at the plate for Luke Math after he legs out that infield single. Case Sanderson and Easton Winfield can be in attack mode from the jump, as we've seen these last 2 batters. And now Cotuit beginning to pour it on against Hyannis.
Blaze Martinez out there to talk it over with Eddie Copper and Brody Briggs, the backstop. And that'll turn it over to the top of the order, Dean West, who singled back in the first inning. He was caught stealing by Briggs. But 4 consecutive Kettleers to reach base. And as you mentioned, Gio, it shows how amplified free passes can be. And unfortunately for Hyannis, during this kind of skid they're going through, the free passes have been so costly.
It can really snowball, and Hyannis is very familiar with that. That exact fate has befell them time and time again, especially during this difficult month of July, but still within reach for these bats, and Eddie Copper's got a chance to shut it down right now.
Runners at the corners with 2 runs home here in the second. West shows to Bunny, gets it down. It's a good one. Briggs fields it and fires to first in time to negate the inning. But the damage has been done. A 2-0 Cotuit lead.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Well, the Hyannis bat's going to come up to the plate in a deficit for the first time tonight. 2-0 Cotuit now as we enter the top of the 3rd inning. And that'll turn it over to the top of the order, Jake Schaffner, Miles Davis, Ryan McKay, Devin Mitchell, a chance if anybody gets on base. But Hyannis allowed 2 runs to come across after a costly free pass in the bottom half of the second. And now an opportunity here to try to get these left-on-left matchups down and centered as they enter losing.
Well, a second look is always good, especially for a guy like Jake Schaffner, who is at many points this season been able to play small ball, Max. Sack fly last night to get a run across early in that going against Wareham. Unfortunately, didn't go out for a win for Jake Schaffner as he was stranded along the bases in that 9th inning after a double to lead it off. And on second looks this year, he has been very, very good, batting at just a shade under 250 as we heard last night. Very impressive stuff from him. We'll see what he can do against that difficult breaking ball from Bo Sampson.
Top of the 3rd inning and a 2-0 Cotuit lead. Jake Schaffner up for the 2nd time tonight. And the first pitch breaking ball from Bo Sampson is on the outside corner, 0-1. Schaffner a strikeout victim to start the game. It was swinging on that left-on-left slider. And the 0-1 fastball is chopped right back to the mound. Sampson runs over a couple steps and flips underhanded in time to retire Schaffner for the first out of the 3rd inning.
For 35, Miles Davis, 3rd baseman from the State College of Florida.
1 out, nobody on, and Miles Davis coming up to the plate. He walked in his first plate appearance, still yet to register an at-bat. Of course, making his Cape League debut tonight for Mitch Carricker. First pitch fastball misses downstairs, 1-0. Davis a .378 average in 44 games at JUCO this past spring. On a 1-0 pitch, Davis takes up and away. 2 balls in, no strikes. Was the former number 2 player in Iowa, number 1 shortstop. He was committed to Iowa, but didn't end up going. He gets sorted on the 2-0 slider down in the dirt. And the count at 2 balls and a strike to the right-hand hitting Davis.
And to revisit that note, Max, about Jake Schaffner's average when he's up for a 2nd time, Hyannis leads the league in 3rd inning batting average.
2-1 changeup down in the dirt, 3 balls and a strike to Davis.
At .319, 941 OPS. And that, of course, the league leading average for Hyannis for all innings is .259.
Good hitters count, and the 3-1 pitch is launched to right center field. Bogenpole on the run towards the warning track about 5 feet in front of the wall to make the catch for the 2nd out of the inning.
And we're, in a way, already seeing the effects, Max, of the second look for this Hyannis squad. Of course, the 3rd inning, about when you'll flip the order. But Jake Schaffner struck out in the first. Davis walked, didn't really shake the bat too much. And there we've seen a couple bat-to-ball contacts in these first couple second looks at Bo Sampson.
Ryan McKay was the 2nd strikeout victim of the day against Bo Sampson, back of the 1st inning. And the first pitch fastball is right on the black on the low and outside corner. No balls and a strike. McKay has cooled off since hitting that .390 mark 3 weeks ago. And he hits the first pitch high in the air to right center field, straight away for Caden Bogenpole. But it'll get called off by the right fielder Stevens to retire the side. We'll keep it right where we are as we're joined by Ethan Wax.
Since success struggles has been their record in 1-run games, which sits at a league worst 1 for 4. The only other team with a losing record in 1-run games is last place Cotuit. The Hawks also are tied for the league lead with 3 ties. Why do the Hawks seemingly struggle in close games? The culprit is the team's inability to hit with runners in scoring position. After going 1 for 5 in last night's 3-2 loss to Wareham, the team is just 13 for 65 this season with runners in scoring position, in games tied or decided by 1 run, which is good for a league-low 200 batting average. By contrast, Brewster, sporting the league's best record, is 4-2 in 1-run games with 1 tie, and has gone 15 for 47 with runners in scoring position in such games, good for a league-leading 319 average. Astonishingly, the Hawks have just 4 RBIs the entire season with runners on second and third base, which should represent a prime run-scoring opportunity. Orleans leads the league with 19 RBIs in such a situation, and 6 Trams have 14 or more RBIs. With the 5 teams in the Western Division separated by just 1.5 games, the ability to deliver in the clutch could be the difference. Who is going to step up for the Hawks? Now back to the booth to see if the guys can figure it out. Guys, back to you.
Thanks very much, Ethan. As Caden Bogenpole, the left-handed hitter, batting second, will come up for the second time tonight, and he takes outside from Eddie Copper, a strikeout victim back in the first inning. And I got to say, kind of paradoxical to see the runners in scoring position numbers for Hyannis, considering the batting average being so high. 1-0 fastball is hit foul off to the left out of play. Miles Davis gives it a look, but he's got no play.
I think the best example of that, Max, is the guy we just were talking about, Ryan McKay. The fact that last night was only his second hitless performance of the season, and the average has cooled off from as high as 390 to 325.
1-1. Slider hit in the air to right center field. Long run for Charlie Bates. He dives and makes the play. Charlie Bates like Superman out in the outfield. And it's an electric out number one.
Couple days, a couple candidates for best of the nest. Caden Bogenpole with a frozen rope out to center. Bates shaded a bit towards left field, makes a long run to the right field alley and goes full extension dive and sticks the landing as well for the catch.
Well, there's just out number one in the scorebook. Ryan Farber coming up for the second time tonight. He flew out to Sawyer Black to end the first inning. And the first pitch is hit foul to the backstop, 0-1. And it's a play like that, Gio, that can just jumpstart your team again, get the energy back to the guys. Of course, Hyannis trailing 2-0 here in the last of the third inning. But something like that can kickstart an entire team. 0-1 pitch is grounded through the right side and into right field, a base hit. Ryan Farber with a one-out single here in the third inning. And Jack Natilli coming up to the plate.
And talk about early looks for Hyannis. That's exactly what Cotuit's gotten here against the most difficult part of the order to face a second time, because they've all played these next 5 batters from 2 down to 6, have all played against Hyannis multiple times this year already.
So Jack Natilli, the Cape Cod Player of the Week, coming up for the second time tonight. Although he did not fare successful in his first AB, he struck out swinging against Copper. 0-1 first pitch slider is fouled at the plate, 0-1. Copper 42 pitches deep through 2 1/3 innings. 28 strikes on that margin. Just the one walk, but it was costly as it kick-started a rally that saw 2 runs come across in the last of the second. Slider right at the knees. And Copper jumps ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Hyannis looking for a little 6-4-3 action right here. They have not induced very many ground ball double plays this season. With Ryan Farber on first base. On an 0-2 pitch, Natilli takes down in the dirt, a snap throw to first from Briggs, and ahead of the tag, Ryan Farber is back safely. Hyannis' .259 team batting average is mirrored by Cotuit. They both lead the Cape League in that margin. 1-2 the count. And the pitch is grounded slowly to shortstop. Jake Schaffner plays it on the high hop, flips to second for 1. The throw to first in time. But the 6-4-3 on the inning-ending twin killing. And Hyannis faces the minimum here in the third.
Donated by Amy Cates, a Cotuit resident and New York.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the rental source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
When I started teaching on the Cape 30 years ago, you could buy a house on a teacher's salary. But today, teachers, public safety officers, healthcare and hospitality workers, the people who make the Cape work, are struggling to find homes they can afford. And I really worry about the kids who will follow us. I think it's time we learn to do better.
If housing on Cape Cod matters to you, join us at capehousingmatters.org.
Top Top of the fourth inning here from Lowell Park. Hyannis trails Cotuit 2-0. And Devin Mitchell, the heart of the order, 4-5-6 due up for Mitch Carricker. It'll be Mitchell, Luigi, Bates. Anybody gets on, Brody Briggs a chance. And we mentioned at the bottom of the third inning that Bates catch in center field, kind of kickstarting some energy back in the Hyannis dugout. And then you got the ground ball double play to end the inning. And now a little bit more momentum in their favor, and let's see how they respond.
We've talked all season, Max, from the first game. I can remember distinctly Andrew Williamson making a leaping grab in right field and then having to come up to the plate right after it. Charlie Bates due up in this inning after going full Superman in center field, and we've seen it have a two-pronged effect for Hyannis bats on the flip side of great play in the outfield. Or in the infield, for that matter. Most of the times, it has not as distinct a correlation as we have discussed, but at times, like we've seen, especially for Charlie Bates, after a couple of his nice snags, he's begun to pick it up, and it's coming this last week and a half as well.
Devin Mitchell will lead it off. Struck out swinging to end the first inning. 4 strikeouts through the first 3 innings for Bo Sampson on the hill. He struck out the side back in the first as the first pitch fastball is at the top of the zone. No balls and a strike. But Hyannis saw him a little bit better in the third inning. Still nothing to show for it. A couple hard hit fly balls. 0-1 the count, and the pitch is swung through. Nothing in 2. There's that wipeout slider. Mitchell hit .399 at Florence Darlington Tech College, a JUCO, this past spring. 1-2 breaking ball. 0-2 breaking ball misses off the outer half. One and 2 the count, and Mitchell chases a slider. There's that slider once again, and that's strikeout number 5 of the day to get us started here in the fourth.
Those breaking pitches from Bo Sampson are absolutely dirty, Max. How about to set up the wipeout slider? He goes to that hanging 12-6 curve at the top of the zone, and Devin Mitchell hasn't swung at too many pitches in his early goings here of the summer.
As Luigi's out ahead of the slider, 0-1.
At least not too many hanging curves at the top of the zone, because not many guys can locate that pitch with the consistency that Bo Sampson has today.
0-1 the count, and the lefty kicks and fires. Luigi takes the slider on the inner half this time. Looks like Hyannis just doesn't have an answer for that pitch.
It's nasty. Pinpoint location on the inner half to a lefty.
And the windup, and the pitch is fastball swung through. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the fourth inning. 6 in all for Bo Sampson.
How about all 6 of them swinging so far today for Bo Sampson? It's that swing and miss stuff that's so hard to come by, at least at the rate we've seen it. He's just matched his season total in strikeouts in 4 frames. And for Bo Sampson, it's largely been because he's been tunneling that breaking ball with a heater.
Charlie Bates reaches for the first pitch and pokes it fair down the left field line. A wide turnaround first base. He'll throw the brakes on with a 2-out single here for Hyannis.
And there we see at least a direct correlation between making a great play in the outfield, come onto the plate, and make an even better one to go the other way at that breaking ball that just fooled Devin Mitchell and Jeff Luigi. And now Brody Briggs, after his 2-out single in the second, gets another chance with a runner on here.
First pitch to Brody is a slider inside for ball 1. Hyannis started the 2-out rally back in the second inning with Briggs' single. Velasquez singled as well, who waits on deck, but then Sawyer Black flew out to left field. Charlie Bates on first base. Tying run is at the plate for Hyannis, and a check over at Bates, and he's back with a head-first dive. Want to know the count, and the pitch to Bates is a fastball downstairs, 2-0. The advantage count to the Arizona State Sun Devil at the plate.
Something to note, Max, that the wind is switched on the flag in left center field, helping the batter.
2-0 pitch is taken at the bottom of the zone. A good fastball, changing the direction. And the count to 2 balls and a strike to Brody Briggs. Lefty in the windup, a look at first, and now a check at first. Charlie Bates has been busy over there. Bates still has not stolen a base on the season. The 2-1 changeup misses down low. 3-1 to Brody. Hyannis has stolen 39 on the summer. They're led by Andrew Williamson and Matt Mura. On a 3-1 pitch, Briggs takes a fastball at the corner. 3-2, and Charlie Bates will be on the run on this pitch. Tying run is at the plate in Brody Briggs. 2-0 Cotuit here in the top of the 4th inning. Bates on the run. The 3-2 is a check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. And life with 2 outs once again for Hyannis here in the 4th.
That is a very good at-bat for Brody Briggs. Now a very good couple at-bats to go along with that 2-out single in the 2nd inning. He didn't see the breaking ball too well to begin things out, but then he began to see where that pitch was locating for Bo Sampson. And now a meeting of the minds atop the Cotuit bump with the most damage that Hyannis has had since that 2nd.
They'll face Ray Velasquez, who snapped a 1-for-21 essentially with a single back in the 2nd inning. It has been a tough mid-June through mid-July, so this last 4 weeks for Velasquez has not treated him all too well. But kind of the story of a summer could be that you could be the hero in any given moment, and the most important play, most important at-bat in baseball is the next one. And Velasquez, an opportunity here to tie this game with a tying run on first base in Briggs.
And the thing we haven't mentioned a whole lot with the slumps that Ray Velasquez and Charlie Bates have both endured is the fact that, A, they had great starts to the summer with Velasquez getting hits in each of his first 5 appearances for Hyannis, and also the fact that it can be really hard to go through that once you've had such success after a long college baseball season for both Ray Velasquez and Charlie Bates that saw them be very successful at their respective schools.
Velasquez, 18 home runs at Austin Peay this past spring. First pitch, breaking ball swung through.
And make no mistake, it's difficult to go through a 1-for-21 rough patch whenever it happens, but to do so with those circumstances, with the fact that you've had success and it doesn't feel like philosophically something's changing, something will give eventually for Ray Velasquez as it did for Charlie Bates.
0-1 the count, and the pitch is up and away. There's that fastball, count level at 1, with Bates on second, Briggs on first here in the top of the 4th. Hyannis looking to tie this game at 2. Down 0-2. 1-1 to Velasquez is skied into shallow center field. A long run for all 3 players. And the center fielder, Caden Bogenpole, gives way to make the catch for the final out of the inning. Hyannis continues to struggle with runners in scoring position. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Two nothing Cotuit here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Eddie Copper going out for another inning of work. He faced the minimum in the last inning after a 6-4-3 double play ended the inning. And Copper looking to continue kind of a frame of really strong command. He's looked like he's been in the zone consistently tonight, which is something that he struggled with coming into this game. 6 walks in 7 innings entering, and so far 1 walk through 3.
He's been really smooth, and outside that second inning with the free pass amplifying into that 2-run barrage from Cotuit, it comes down to a change in philosophy at the plate. Once you have a runner on second, sure, 2 outs convolutes things a bit for the hitter, but Luke Matthews legs out an infield single for run number 1, and then you get a couple of singles in quick succession from Case Sanderson and Easton Winfield, and that could very well be the difference in this game, and it wouldn't be all too much a stain on Copper outside of the free pass dish with 2 outs.
Nolan Stevens grounded out to Jeff Luigi the first time up. Back-to-back lefties in the order for Cotuit here with Stevens and Camden Johnson waiting on deck. First pitch fastball upstairs, a ball and no strikes. At least 1 hit in each inning for Cotuit. 1 in the first, 3 in the second, and 1 in the third. But Copper, besides that second inning, has stranded runners. 1-0 fastball is slapped foul off to the left, out of play, and the count levels at 1.
And I think it's key that both of them have come from the Hyannis defense. The caught stealing of Dean West after the leadoff single in the first inning, and then the 6-4-3 double play as well. That's got to be a big support for Eddie Copper.
Stevens was at Mississippi State. He'll be transferring to Oklahoma. And the 1-1 slider is golfed to right field. Devin Mitchell going back, looking up. It's off the wall. Stevens off to the races. The throw comes into second base. It is late. And a leadoff double for Stevens.
Cotuit seeing the ball really well the second time through the order. Everything in the air, no strikeouts so far through the first 5 batters. And now the double to go along with Ryan Farber's single in the third. A couple of really hard pieces of hitting. This one the harder of the two, just a couple feet shy of a homer.
Well, back-to-back Oklahoma boys. Of course, Stevens, the incoming transfer. But Cam Johnson at the plate. He walked back in the second inning, and that started a big rally for Cotuit. They were able to plate 2 after 3 consecutive singles following the walk. And they sit with a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Stevens on second with nobody out. First pitch he shows to Bunny, gets it down. It's to Copper, third base side. He bobbles and throws to first in time. It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. The recovery is good for Copper, but the sacrifice is complete for Johnson. And that makes Stevens move up to third base with now 1 out in the inning.
Number 6, Luke Matthews.
Still a productive out for Camden Johnson, but how about a very nice play from Eddie Copper to scramble off the mound and make a difficult throw from longer than he's used to for that kind of play, Max. Very good bunt from Camden Johnson and a good stretch from Ray Velasquez at first to dig it out.
The right-handed hitting Luke Matthews up for the second time tonight. He had that RBI infield single. He legged it out back in the second inning. Slider from Copper misses outside, 1-0. It was basically a routine play to Miles Davis where he kind of took his time, shuffled a couple times, and then he threw low in the dirt, and Matthews has some speed. He was able to leg it out. And because Cam Johnson stole second base as he grounds it up the middle, this will score a run. Schaffner to his left, slings to first in time, but a run comes home to score. 3-0 Cotuit, now with 2 outs in the inning.
28, Case Sanderson from Nebraska, the first baseman.
So back-to-back ABs with an RBI for Luke Matthews.
And they've both come off small ball, to be frank. The infield single in the first, that gets a run across off the fielder's choice. And then you get the ground out here where now Cotuit stretched the lead.
Case Sanderson, the left-handed hitter, takes a slider on the outside corner and falls behind, no balls and a strike. Sanderson, the middleman in that string of 3 consecutive singles back in the second inning. Now 3 runs on 6 hits for Cotuit. And the 0-1 fastball spiked in the dirt. Sanderson, the OPS just a hair over 600 at 611. It's been a bit of a slow start to the summer. But this bottom of the order has done a lot of damage for Cotuit. 3-0 Kettleers now here in the last of the 4th. And the fastball misses up and away. 2 balls and a strike as the count swings in Sanderson's favor. Copper comes home on the outside corner with the fastball, count level at 2. And if you're Mitch Carricker, you'll take the way that their Kettleers are scoring their runs. If it's not largely from walks, if you're making them hit, if you're making them commit sacrifice hits like bunts, they're just playing good to get good baseball against you. 2-2 is in the air, foul off to the left.
And that 6-hit number now through 3 2/3 is especially jarring for Hyannis. And you mentioned that the walks haven't really torched him outside that second inning. It's the only walk of the game still for Eddie Copper. So if you're Mitch Carricker, yeah, the scoreboard's still going to show something not in your favor. And it's getting better that it's not coming with free passes.
On a 2-2 pitch, Sanderson pokes it foul at the plate. Brady Briggs wanted that to be a fair ball, but it was in foul territory. Joe Carrico, the home plate umpire, made the call. Now hits in 4 consecutive innings to start this game for Cotuit. Count level at 2. Eddie Copper in the windup, and he comes home. The fastball is slapped foul off to the left. Out of play, and we'll do it again. "58 pitches deep for Copper. This will be pitch number 8 of this plate appearance for Case Sanderson. They're making him work in his first start on the Cape. The 2-2 once more, up and away, and the count runs full. And more dangerous territory for Eddie Copper.
His first start, Max, but also his longest outing, as we've mentioned a couple times today. He's gone as little as just 1 out in a game on June 27th at Orleans, and then stretched only as far as the 2 outs in the second inning.
Full count pitch is on the outside corner, strike 3 called. Frozen Pizza is out number 3 here in the 4th inning. We'll keep it where it at, as earlier today, our own Ethan Wax was able to catch up with Carson Yassa.
Ethan Wax here chopping it up with Carson Yassa. And Carson, you had a strong 5 shutout innings, lowering your ERA to 1.06
That's got to be it for Eddie, right?
Yeah.
What was working so well?
Obviously, we played great defense behind me. The objective yesterday was just to fill up the strike zone and let the defense work, keep the pitch count down in order to get deep in the game. So obviously just filling up the strike zone was good, and my defense played great behind me, and the strikeout stuff came as well. So
You fanned 7-7 and now have 24 strikeouts so far this season. Would you consider yourself a strikeout pitcher in 17 innings?
Yeah, I'd consider myself a strikeout pitcher. Obviously, I like hunting the strikeout. It makes me feel good, makes my teammates think I'm cool, so it's obviously what I'm looking to do up there.
You have appeared in 6 games this season and half as a starter. Which do you prefer and why?
I like starting. I just think my body feels better. It's just more like I have more mental preparation in order going into the outing, so I just prefer to start. I think it's more fun.
And lastly, you are currently 4th in ERA in the Cape Cod League. What do you expect to take from this experience back to Nebraska?
Just finding a way to get outs, even when you don't have your best stuff, is probably the biggest thing I've taken away. Just finding it somewhere and able to get 3 outs every inning. But yeah, I think just finding zeros is the most important thing.
Thank you for your time today, and good luck the rest of your time here.
Thanks, Ethan. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Sawyer Black at the plate to face Bo Sampson for the second time tonight. It's 9-1-2 for Hyannis, and the first pitch is roped on the ground and into right field. Sawyer Black ambushes the fastball, and leadoff knock for Hyannis here in the 5th inning.
Well, there's some of that ambush tactic we've seen time and time again from Hyannis, at least in the early part of the season. Haven't seen it so much recently because the situation hasn't lended to it all that much, Max. And for Sawyer Black here, got to try and get something going without 2 outs, as they've done in each of the last couple of frames.
Jake Schaffner at the top of the order for the 3rd time tonight, and he swings through the slider. Schaffner was a strikeout victim swinging to start the game in the 1st, and then he grounded out back to Bo Sampson in the 3rd. A 3-0 Cotuit lead here in the top of the 5th inning with nobody out and Sawyer Black on first. A 1 breaking ball misses outside, and the count level at 1.
Hyannis very good on first pitches this season, batting .418 to be 2nd in the Cape League. One of 3 squads with an OPS over 1,000 on the first ball.
Check over on Black, And he's back with a head-first dive. Hyannis has struggled over the last few weeks with runners in scoring position. They're 0 for 2 tonight with 5 left on base, but it's still early. 1-1 pitch is a fastball at the top of the zone. Schaffner did not like the call from Joe Carrico, and the count swings in the favor of Bo Sampson, a ball and 2 strikes. Lefty in the stretch, and he comes home, and the breaking ball misses a little bit outside, and the count even at 2-2 with Black on first and nobody out in the inning.
Hyannis also very good with no outs, a 275 average. That skyrockets to just shy of 500 with a runner on.
2-2 to Schaffner's golf to center field. Straight away for Caden Bogenpole into the left center field gap, and he retires out number 1. He makes out number 1 here in the 5th.
35, Miles Davis.
And the last 2 at-bats have certainly been better for Jake Schaffner, but this an uncharacteristic first couple of plate appearances for him. As, yeah, yet to reach base, but the way he's done it with a couple of hard flyouts, not what you typically see from him.
Miles Davis for the 3rd time tonight. Only 1 official at-bat as he walked back in the 1st inning. And the first pitch slider's on the outside corner, 0-1. Davis flew out to very deep center field back in the 3rd inning, kind of showcasing some power. Of course, today being his Harbor Hawks and Cape League debut. 0-1 slider misses well inside. Davis had to get out of the way of it, and the count even up at 1-1 with Black on first base. A 3-0 Cotuit lead here in the top of the 5th inning with 1 out, 1 on, and Davis out the plate. On a 1-1 pitch, Davis has to wait. A throw over to first base, and Black once again back with a head-first slide. Lefty kicks and fires, and a fly ball foul off to the right out of play. Count swings in the favor of Bo Sampson, 1-2, who's been excellent tonight. 6 strikeouts through the first 4 1/3 innings for Sampson. 1-2 the count. And the pitch is a broken back ground ball to third base. Cam Johnson throws the second for 1 on to first, not in time. Davis legs it out on the fielder's choice.
That would have been an incredible turn for Ryan Farber at second base. A good scoop by Cam Johnson at third and a quick throw, but it takes him somewhat off the plate as the slide from Black comes in at second. He threw off balance to first and thereby off the plate, so Davis rewarded for legging it out.
Ryan McKay at the plate. A strikeout victim back in the 1st inning. Sampson struck out the side back in that inning to open the game, and he flew out to right field in the 3rd. First pitch fastball is inside. A ball and no strikes. Davis now replaces Sawyer Black on first base with 2 outs in the inning and a 3-0 Cotuit lead. Left on left, the 1-0 pitch to McKay is golfed in the air, foul off to the left. "71 pitches deep for Bo Sampson, 45 strikes. One and 1 the count, and the pitch is well inside. Nice stop behind the plate by Jack Natilli, who had to go lunging for that one. And the count swings in Ryan McKay's favor, 2-1. Hyannis, the offense has been quiet tonight, but the tying run is at the plate, or the tying run is on deck. As McKay reaches for 1 and pokes a high ground ball to first base, Case Sanderson runs it over to the bag himself to make the final out of the inning. We're halfway through here from Lowell Park. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, a 3-0 Cotuit lead.
Owning a home means you can protect your family and put down roots in a community you care about. It gives you a place to celebrate the joys of daily living and be together during tough times. But for many on Cape Cod, home ownership is slipping further out of reach. Help make sure the American dream is available to the teachers, public safety professionals, and all the other people who make the Cape a special place. Visit capehousingmatters.org to find out more.
Back here at Lowell Park, a new pitcher out on the hill for Mitch Carricker after Eddie Copper's day is done. It's Chandler Dorsey, the incoming transfer to UCF, previously at LSU. And Dorsey coming in to this appearance with a .482 earned run average through 9 1/3 innings, a 1 home runs per 9, but a 6.8 walks per 9, 12.5 K per 9. So kind of more of the same for Mitch Carricker. Firepower, but a little bit rough around on the edges.
Yeah, and Dorsey started out pretty solid in his last outing on last Sunday against Brewster. 3 2/3 innings as he got in after the starter, allowed a total of 7 runs with 3 walks and just that 1 strikeout. It's been difficult sledding for Chandler Dorsey of late. But now ends a day for Eddie Copper where he stretched to his longest outing of the year, 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned with a walk and 3 Ks. And that 1 walk wasn't timely. Comes with 2 outs in the second inning, 3 hits after that ensue to that 2-0 Cotuit lead. And in the 4th, he got shelled for a couple more as well. And Max, as the MLB draft is underway, we got some news. Eli Willits, the younger brother of Harbor Hawk All-Star Jackson Willits, is the youngest 1-1 in recent memory to the Washington Nationals, first overall.
Wow. Eli Willits, they say Jackson's the worst of the 3 brothers, but that's pretty unbelievable considering how great he is. Easton Winfield hits the first pitch in the air to right center field on a broken bat that dunks in for a base hit.
This is the top of the order for the Kettleers. And
Willits, as we continue this conversation, is the youngest first pick ever. And he's 17 years old, like past 1-1s Ken Griffey, Bryce Harper, Alex Rodriguez, to name a few. Born December 9th, 2007.
Wow. Dean West with a man on first base. And the slider misses on the outside corner.
Left fielder, UCLA.
Owen won the count to West, who had that leadoff single in the first inning, but he was caught stealing and then out on a bunt attempt in the second. Shows the bunt here and pulls it back. Inside, count level at 1. Number 9 man Winfield on first base. 3-0 Cotuit here in the 5th. And the runner goes. The pitch is a ball. The throw down to second in time. Brody Briggs guns down another hitter. But they're saying it's a foul ball. Cotuit wants the umpires to get together.
Lauren Hibbs pleading his case with Joe Caraco, the home plate umpire. Dean West froze at the plate and actually began to walk out like it was a foul ball. Briggs sprung out of his crouch and went for the throwdown of Easton Winfield. That's not what he's arguing. He's arguing that Dean West fouled it off.
Everybody knows he was out at second, but it was immediately because West reacted as if he hit the foul ball, and then the immediate reaction from the Cotuit dugout. I mean, I would assume the umpires would get together, or
didn't have a great vantage point of it here. And now Joe Caraca will we'll go back behind home plate and we'll play on with 1 out.
So now nobody out or nobody on and 1 out. Dean West in a 1-2 hole. Chandler Dorsey just into the game. On a 1-2 pitch, West takes downstairs. There's that 12-6 curveball. Two into the count, and the pitch is swatted foul off to the left and out of play. Hyannis had another runner in scoring position back in the 5th inning, but they left him. They've now left 6 on base through the first 5 innings. It's just been that stretch of baseball for Mitch Carricker's squad, and they are trying to pull themselves out of it. 2-2 is grounded to first. That's in the outfield. A base hit finds the hole. That's back-to-back singles, but only one on after that caught stealing.
And now the 8th hit of the game for Cotuit. They've seen bat to ball really well, and even though the free passes have been limited for Hyannis tonight to the tune of 1 walk, Cotuit's hitting is single-handedly lifting them to the lead.
Caden Bogenpole, for the 3rd time tonight, struck out swinging in the 1st and lined out to Charlie Bates, that unbelievable Superman grab in the 3rd. First pitch fastball on the outer half, 0-1. It's been the bottom and middle part of the order for Cotuit that has done the damage today. Top of the order much quieter, but the big bats coming out from the bottom. 0-1 pitch is grounded sharply past Jeff Luigi and into right center field. A base hit. Dean West going to go first to third. That's now 3 consecutive hits to start this inning, but only 1 out after that caught stealing once again.
Cotuit's really found its stride against Chandler Dorsey, as he doesn't have that fastball command that Eddie Copper showed in his 4 innings. Missed a couple of spots with the heater, and we're really seeing that Cotuit is jumping on it early and often.
Ryan Farber at the plate, and a meeting between Brody Briggs and Chandler Dorsey. Dorsey, a 3.6 ERA in 30 innings this past spring at UCF. Rather, at Louisiana State. Of course, we'll be moving on. First pitch down low. Ryan Farber, a single back in the 3rd inning, but he's got Dean West on 3rd, Bogenpole on 1st. 3-0 Cotuit here in the bottom of the 5th, and the fastball catches the corner. A ball and a strike to the switch-hitting Farber, batting lefty.
Caden Bogenpole, not too much of a stolen base person in the sense that he doesn't have any in 10 games so far this year, but would not surprise to see him go with 1 out.
1-1 fastball up and away. Well, they have tried to steal this game, but only 1 for 3. 2 caught stealings for Brody Briggs, who will be taking on a bigger role this upcoming fall at Tempe, hoping to become the everyday catcher for the Sun Devils. 2-1 is in the air to center field, shallow. Charlie Bates, a late read. He's coming in. He makes the catch. Dean West comes in to tag. Now he throws the brakes on as the runner from first, Bogenpole, tags up to second base on the fly out to center field.
Dean West gives Charlie Bates his well-deserved respect there. Got a late read, really hustled to get to that ball in shallow center field, and delivered a great throw to Brody Briggs. Sure was standing up, and West had a pretty good jump coming off the base, but that says something when one of this team's leader in steals halts at 3rd.
Jack Natilli has had a rough day at the plate. His strikeout swinging, and he grounded into an inning-ending 6-4-3 twin killing in the 3rd. An opportunity to change that narrative with 2 in scoring position with 2 outs. Right-handed hitter facing the right-handed Dorsey in the first pitch. Breaking balls outside. 3-0 Cotuit in the last of the 5th inning. The Kettleers threatening with West on 3rd and Bogenpole on 2nd. Dorsey looking to get out of the jam. Already 3 hits allowed in this inning, his first inning of relief from Copper. 1-0 breaking ball on the inside corner, and the front door, count level at 1. Dorsey stares in for a sign and comes set. In the stretch. Now he kicks and fires, and a slider outside the third baseline out ahead. Might have broken his bat on the pitch. He's examining it. Didn't sound good off the bat, but it looks to be okay. Two ducks on the pond for Cotuit. A 3-0 Kettleers lead. Tranley Dorsey looking to keep it at that and get the Hyannis back in the batter's box. On a 1-2 pitch, Natili swings and misses, strike 3. A big strikeout to end the inning. We'll keep it right where we are as our producer turns sideline reporter Sam Montag has more.
Thanks, Max. Well, it's no question that the Harbor Hawks offense has struggled recently, and no one's really portrayed that more than Ray Velasquez. The third baseman and turned first baseman occasionally has only gotten one hit over the past 2 weeks, but that one hit came tonight. So there is some bright side for Ray Velasquez going forward, especially as he can look at a bright spot here tonight. However, that negativity is really reflected in the entire offense. Recently, although they still lead the league in average, in the past 2 weeks, they've actually had the second lowest OBP of every team in the Cape Cod Baseball League, with only 35 walks over those 2 weeks. That's compared to their 85 strikeouts. So they're taking pitches, but they're taking the wrong pitches, and that's beginning to cost them. However, like Velasquez, they're beginning to come out of that dark spot as they've had 21 of those 35 walks in the past week. Therefore, they're bringing their OBP up, they're bringing their average up, and the Hawks offense is beginning to come out of that dark spot and get back into the light again. Now, back to you guys in the booth.
We got a new pitcher after Bo Sampson. It's Tyler Albanese. We saw Tyler Albanese on July 2nd against Hyannis, but Bo Sampson was electric tonight. Albanese, a rising sophomore at San Jose State, 6'6", 237, and he's off to a 4.09 earned run average in 11 innings, so he's been really good for the Kettleers so far this summer.
He sure has, Max, and in that out Hyannis on the 21st here at Lowell Park, he stretched for 2 innings, 2 hits, only allowed 1 run, and struck out a couple before handing things over to Ryan Buckler to close out the game. And for Albanese, he comes into a part of the order for Hyannis at 4-5-6 that struggled outside of Charlie Bates. Even he has a strikeout, as Devin Mitchell has struck out twice. Jeff Luigi struck out in his last time at the plate. And as Sam mentioned, Hyannis taking the wrong pitches, not necessarily has stopped taking pitches, with that strikeout number ballooning to just shy of 90. But positive to hear that the walks have come in the last week for Hyannis. They haven't come in this game, though, with just a couple through 4 frames.
And Albanese going to face the heart of the order, 4-5-6 in Devin Mitchell, Jeff Lucci, Charlie Bates. And the Harbor Hawks didn't really have an answer for Bo Sampson, who went 5 innings on 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 6 punch-outs. He lowers his season ERA to 0.9. And kind of just what the doctor ordered, a fresh start against the new arm right here. And Devin Mitchell was 0 for 2 with 2 punch-outs against the starter Sampson. Facing a right-handed pitcher for the first time tonight. And the first pitch fastball well upstairs in at 91 on the gun. Hyannis has left 6 on base for the first 5 innings. And they trail Cotuit 3-0 here in the top of the 6th. On a 1-0 pitch, Mitchell takes a fastball in a similar location upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes to the incoming NC State Wolfpack transfer. Long pause. Now the 2-0 pitch is launched to left field. Dean West on the run with room to make the catch.
Good to see contact bat to ball from Devin Mitchell after a couple of swings and misses in his prior 2 at-bats. He showed the power right from the jump here on Cape Cod with that home run in his first at-bat the other night against Orleans. Just a shade under that ball here to a similar spot of the ballpark.
Jeff Luigi was also not successful against the starter Bo Sampson. He was 0 for 2 with an error. He reached on an error in the second, and he takes a first pitch fastball from Albanese on the corner, 0-1, and a strikeout swinging in the sixth. Hits have been few and far between for Hyannis during the skid they've gone through since the end of June. July has just been such a tough month for the Harbor Hawks.
It surely has.
As the 0-1 breaking ball is on the outside corner.
And for Jeff Luigi, he's gotten more consistent play time to start. He's now played in 8 straight games for the Harbor Hawks.
Luigi, kind of 2 weeks into the season, he arrived, and he's been in the lineup pretty much every day. He's behind in the count 0-2, and the breaking ball is fouled off of his leg, painfully so, and he'll walk it off.
Provide some MLB draft updates as the first round is underway. The LA Angels followed up the pick of Eli Willits with Tyler Bremner, righty out of UC Santa Barbara. Another pitcher goes to the Seattle Mariners at 3, and it's Cade Anderson of LSU.
0-2 the count to Luigi, and the fastball is skyled a mile high on the infield. Cam Johnson, the third baseman, still on the infield dirt, reels in the second out of the inning.
Well, Cotuit's defense isn't getting enough credit for how much it's helped out the starting pitcher, Bo Sampson, and now Tyler Albanese as well and through the first couple of outs. Hasn't been asked for a whole lot given the fact that Bo Sampson struck out 6, but these ground balls, a couple of them very difficult plays, have been made to look easy.
Charlie Bates up for the third time tonight, a single in his last plate appearance, and he takes a fastball from Albanese on the outer half and falls behind, no balls and a strike.
To continue that draft conversation, Cade Anderson, tabbed by many as the first pick by Washington after a couple of remarkable performances in his career at LSU.
0-1 curveball is at the top of the zone.
And now the Colorado Rockies have just taken another Oklahoman in Ethan Holiday, the son of Matt Holiday, a Major League player, brother of Jackson Holiday on the Orioles. Matt played a long time for the Rockies as well, so that's special for the Oklahoman.
0-2, and the breaking ball misses downstairs. Matt has also still yet to touch home plate in that game 163 against the San Diego Padres.
Your memory is remarkable, Max.
Well, if you're a Padres fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's an iconic moment at Coors Field. 1-2 the count to Charlie Bates. And the fastball is hit down the third base line, but it's foul. Right on the hands. And Bates, a little stinger, trying to shake it off.
And he kind of fisted it the other way, too. That's the second time we've seen him do that, where that single flared the other way as well for Charlie Bates. Not only has he reversed that recent slump he was in a week ago today, but now he's beginning to go the other way for the first time all year.
1-2 the count. And the slider is fouled outside the first base line, so Charlie Bates, really representative of what his at-bats have looked like over the last week and a half. He's getting deep into accounts, really seeing a lot of the pitcher. And when he had that big 0-for-19 with 14 strikeouts, he was just falling behind quick and not able to really dig himself out of the hole. But he's looked like an entire different ball player. The Stanford Cardinal, a rising sophomore.
I think you said it best, Max. He has his swagger back.
Behind in the count, 1-2. And the pitch from Albanese is a curveball, swatted foul again outside the first base line. Charlie Bates buys another pitch here in the top of the sixth. A 3-0 Cotuit lead at Lowell Park. Harbor Hawks in danger of falling behind or falling under 500 for the first time this season with a loss tonight if the score will hold. On a 1-2 pitch, Bates takes up and away. There's that fastball from Albanese at 92 on the gun. No lights here at Lowell Park, but plenty of sunlight to play with so far. 9 hits for Cotuit, 4 for Hyannis. And the 2-2 breaking ball is hit a mile high into right center field. A late read for Caden Bogenpol, and he gets called off by the right fielder Stevens to end the inning. Harbor Hawks go down in order here in the 6th inning. We'll head to the bottom half, 3-0 Cotuit.
Owning a home means you can protect your family and put down roots in a community you care about. It gives you a place to celebrate the joys of daily living and be together during tough times. But for many on Cape Cod, home ownership is slipping further out of reach. Help make sure the American dream is available to the teachers, public safety professionals, and all the other people who make the Cape a special place. Visit capehousingmatters.org to find out more.
Bottom of the sixth inning, a Cotuit 3-0 lead, and Chandler Dorsey going out for another inning of work. He ended the fifth with the punch out, but he allowed 3 hits in the inning, looking for a little bit of a cleaner job for Mitch Carricker. And not a lot of room for error, Gio. This Hyannis offense is just really falling quiet, so it puts that much more pressure on the pitching.
It sure has, and to the credit of Eddie Copper, he has both worked himself into and out of trouble tonight. Chandler Dorsey did just that in that next inning, allowing those 3 runners to reach on 3 consecutive singles, and then striking out the final, or rather gets a fly out of Ryan Farber, and then the strikeout of Jack Natilli to close out that 5th inning. So he'll need a very similar inning. Of course, he's looking for that 1-2-3 frame to get off the mound as quickly as possible and extend his day as far as he can. But the more looks that this Hyannis Harbor Hawks batting order gets at starting or at pitching for Cotuit, the better chance they have of getting back in this game.
Nolan Stevens, who had a double back in the 4th inning, coming up for the 3rd time tonight. He's only faced the starter for this Hyannis squad, and he rolls the first pitch fair to Ray Velasquez at first base, who takes it to the bag himself for the 3 unassisted. He got us started here in the last of the 6.
That's a good start for Chandler Dorsey as well. You induce the ground ball contact with the breaking ball. Stevens over the top of it, and it stays fair over Velasquez.
Cam Johnson, who's not registered an official at-bat tonight, he walked back in the 2nd and was out on a sacrifice bunt 1-3 in the 4th. Lefty to righty. Righty to lefty, that is. And the first pitch breaking ball's on the outside corner. Well, it's important for Chandler Dorsey to establish that part of the strike zone with the off-speed stuff. And he's had command of that part of the zone. Nobody on and 1 out. And the 1-0 pitch is roped on the ground at first. Velasquez to the backhand, flips to the pitcher. Dorsey covering, it's a high throw, but he comes back on the bag. He is tall. There's out number 2.
Not like they won't have to work for it. And this defense has done a solid job helping out Eddie Copper, and now Chandler Dorsey with a good couple of plays over at first base.
Luke Matthews, who's got 2 stakes on the day, an RBI back in the 2nd, an RBI in the 4th. There's a single in the 2nd and then a ground out in the 4th. So 2 quabs for the right-handed hitting shortstop. Takes down in the dirt for ball 1. One another count, and the pitch from Dorsey misses down in the dirt. There's that slider from Chandler, and the count level at a ball and a strike apiece. 3-0 Cotuit the lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning at Lowell Park. 9 hits for Cotuit, and the 2-0 fastball nowhere close. 3 balls and no strikes. And Dorsey in danger of issuing the 2nd base on balls of the game for Hyannis. 3-0 the count. And the pitch is down Broadway. Good slider at the bottom of the zone as well. 3-1 to Matthews. This is the part of the order that has done the most damage for Cotuit. About 4 singles through the 7-8-9 total. 3-1 the count. And the righty kicks and fires a fastball at 94 right at the top of the zone. And the count runs full. He was behind 3-0. He brings it back to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Looking to go 1-2-3 here in the 6th inning. Long pause in the windup, and the pitch is a slider off the plate ball.
Luke Matthews has put together quite the game with that single infield single in the 2nd that got that rally started for the Kettleers. Even that ground out in the 4th inning brought the run across, and now he reaches base for a 3rd time.
Case Sanderson Was a strikeout victim in his last time up. A single back in the second, however. Only 4 strikeouts for Hyannis pitching. Runner goes at first, and it's golf to left center field. That's going to split the alleyway and roll all the way to the wall. Matthews gets the windmill around third. The throw goes into second base. An RBI double for Case Sanderson. And Cotuit extends the lead. 4-0 Kettleers.
This part of the order has been lethal for Hyannis pitching today. Sanderson with his second hit of the game, his second RBI as well, and Matthews chugging it home for another run scored, and Easton Winfield has singled in each of his 2 appearances. The bottom half of this order is just seeing it better, Max.
Winfield 2 for 2. And facing Dorsey for the second time. He was the first Kettleer to face Dorsey, and the only one to not face the starter, Eddie Copper, both times up. First pitch breaking ball is well up and in. Winfield had to get out of the way. The DH tonight, so getting the day off defensively, but making an impact at the plate for his Kettleers. Bases are empty now with 2 outs in the inning. Will run home for Cotuit. And the slider misses outside. 2 balls in, no strikes. Now 10 hits on the day for Cotuit. 2-0 fastball, a late swing, and a back pick to second, and he's safe. Sanderson just out ahead of the tag.
Incredible awareness from Brody Briggs to see that Sanderson was creeping off the bag a little too far. Schaffner picks it up right away. A throw just a bit late. Credit Sanderson for getting back in time.
A 2-1 advantage for Easton Winfield. And the pitch from Dorsey is upstairs, ball 3. Three and 1 the count to Winfield with the run home. And the fastball is swatted foul off to the left and out of play. That'll become a souvenir for a lucky fan. So the count runs full. Another 3-ball count. And another full count for Dorsey, who's now 32 pitches deep in his relief appearance through 1 2/3 innings. A look back at second. Dorsey comes home, and a swing and a high drive right field out ahead, and a long 3-2 count once again. Sanderson at second after the RBI double. And a full count pitch coming up to Winfield. The fastball is lined the other way to left field. That's in for a base hit, and it rolls all the way to the wall. Sanderson has scored. Winfield's on his way to second. The hits keep on coming, and Cotuit pours salt in the wound. 5-0 Kettleers.
It's happening a lot like it did last time these two teams met on July 2nd, with a walk to lead things off and then a 6-spot from Cotuit in the 6th inning to seal the run rule victory. Now 11 hits on the game for the Kettleers. They've seen Hyannis very well this year despite splitting the series so far, especially this bottom part of the order of Luke Matthews, Case Sanderson, and Easton Winfield.
Top of the order, Dean West for the 4th time tonight in the 6th inning. 2 singles and a ground out. And the first pitch, breaking ball, misses up and away. That's the first double on the season for Easton Winfield. He's 3 for 3 today. Want to know the count? Coming up to Dean West. And the fastball's out the knees. Count level at 1. (5-0) Cotuit here in the last of the 6th inning. 2 runs home in this frame alone. look back at second. Now Dorsey comes home, and the breaking ball misses up and away. 2 balls and a strike to the left-handed hitting Dean West.
Oddly enough, Max, the only Kettleer to not reach base in this game is the cleanup man, Jack Natilli, who was just named one of the Cape League Players of the Week.
On a 2-1 count. Dorsey spins off the mound, a disengagement. Of course, no disengagement rule on the Cape. Winfield switches places with Sanderson on second. 2-1 to West as a breaking ball on the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the inning. Cotuit has hit safely in each of the 6th innings they've come up to the plate. 11 hits on the day for the Kettleers. 2-2 fastball inside, and the count runs full.
We've seen a couple of non-competitive misses in this outing from Chandler Dorsey, including one right there. When you've missed that ball to a lefty as a righty, the breaking ball that drifts inside, you're almost never going to get a swing unless it's at the hands trying to turn on that pitch.
Full count coming up to Dean West. And the fastball is swatted in the air off to the left, out of play. It's now 3 consecutive full counts against Chandler Dorsey. And the pitch count is rising. That was pitch number 40. 25 strikes. 2 walks on the day for Hyannis pitching. It's been a problem all summer long. Full count pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. We'll head to the top of the 7th inning here at Lowell Park, a 5-0 Cotuit lead.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference.
Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself.
Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9, due up for Hyannis, Brody Briggs, Ray Velasquez, and Sawyer Black. Before we get any further, it's time for Beat D-Bot. As we're joined by Daniel Bonalino. What's the record, D-Bot?
I think it's 9 and 11 we're looking at. So, I mean, we got to turn around at some point. We've been inconsistent at best. You know, I feel, I'm not feeling great. So
you do have a lot of baseball left. That's the good thing.
That's what I keep telling myself. And hopefully that reigns true for both me and these Hawks.
Well, your player is a pitcher on these Kettleers, Gavin Jones out of Kennesaw State.
That'd be Kent State. I want to correct that.
Kent State.
Kent State.
Kent State?
Yes.
All right. So Maction.
Yes, Maction.
Kent State.
For you football fans out there.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, I really hope I get this one right. Julian Edelman went there.
He did.
Julian Edelman played football there, not baseball. We had a guy, Kieran Cahy, who pitched there last year and pitched for the Harbor Hawks. The Golden, this is making me pause for a little bit, and it shouldn't, but because it's the Golden Flashes.
First pitch to Brody Briggs. It's a fastball off to the left, foul on a play.
It's the Golden Flashes, but I was like, Golden Eagles was...
Technically, their mascot is a Golden Eagle. We're going to give it to you because it's a very impressive get, but the Golden Flashes or Golden Eagles would have been acceptable.
All right, so I was 2 times right. All right, 10 and 11.
That does not count as 2 wins, though. Be careful.
Gosh.
0-1, and the breaking ball's right on the outside corner, 0-2. Briggs falling behind early.
I'll take it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, D-Bot.
Tyler Albanese still on the mound for Cotuit, and the 0-2 pitch to Briggs is a fastball that straightens him up inside. A ball and 2 strikes. Briggs still yet to be retired tonight. A single back in the second and then a walk in the fourth.
And now we have one of the first former Cape Cod League players taken in the MLB draft.
1-2 is grounded to second base. Ryan Farber to his left gobbles and fires for out number 1.
Iva Arquette of Oregon State taking number 7 to the Miami Marlins, a 6'5" shortstop who was an all-star with Chatham last summer.
Gabe Camacho.
Gabe Camacho is pinch hitting for Ray Velasquez. Velasquez was 1 for 2 out of the number 8 spot of the order. Trying to look for that lefty-righty matchup right here. Presumably Camacho will stay in the game at first base, his familiar post. First pitch fastball upstairs by the letters at 90, 1-0.
And it was certainly weird to see Gabe Camacho's name not only not in the lineup, but also not at first base, because he's played so much in such a short amount of time at being active on the roster. Of course, he's been here for much longer than that.
1-0 fastball is in the air to center field. Straight away for Caden Bogenpole over a couple steps to make the catch for the second out of the inning.
And I was about to say, Max, that taking a couple of innings off, then having to come into the game as a pinch hitter could be very good for Gabe Camacho. He's put bat to ball very well, and he's got the power to leave the yard from anywhere, as he showed at UC San Diego. Just hasn't done it yet. And the more you put balls in play, the further they're going to go, because as Mitch Carricker has said during this past week and a half, they'll eventually start to drop.
Sawyer Black singled in his last plate appearance back in the 5th inning. And he faces Tyler Albanese for the first time tonight. Breaking ball's in there for strike 1. Albanese went the first 5 innings. Only 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. Hyannis has just not had an answer today for these Cotuit pitchers. 0-1 breaking ball clips the outside corner. And a 0-2 advantage for Tyler Albanese on the mound.
And a lot of that is due to the fact that Bo Sampson pitched well. As much as we can discredit the Harbor Hawks, as much praise should be given to the pitchers for Cotuit.
Long pause on 0-2. The righty in the stretch. And the pitch is golfed foul by the first baseline. And Black stays alive for another pitch. A rising sophomore at UNC, but only 16 games his freshman season due to injury. He did homer 3 times. OPS was just a hair under 1,000. He is slugged in the Cape League, but still looking for some more consistency in terms of the batting average. And the 0-2 pitch, he swats it off to the left out of play and buys another one. Hyannis, it just seems that the hits few and far between, and the pitching not a big answer for this bottom of the order for the Kettleers that has been electric for Cotuit. Kind of inverse seasons in terms of how it started and how it's going for Hyannis and Cotuit. Long pause in the stretch. Now Albanese comes home, and Black takes inside with the fastball. 1-2 to the UNC product. Top of the order, Jake Schaffner. These two will be teammates. Waiting on deck, Schaffner, of course, going to transfer to UNC from North Dakota State. On a 1-2 pitch, Black takes fastball up and away, and the count level at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the inning. A 5-0 Cotuit lead here in the top of the 7th inning. Albanese to Black, and Sawyer gets a piece, fouls it back over by us. The battle continues as he looks to provide a 2-out rally. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks have put a couple pressure points on Cotuit tonight with 2 outs, but nothing to show for it as they're 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. The 2-2 once more is in the air to right field. Nolan Stevens, shallow and playable for the final out of the inning. A 1-2-3 7th for Tyler Albanese. Well, to the bottom half with a 5-0 Cotuit lead.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
New pitcher for Hyannis, just looking to get things going and keep these Cotuit hitters off balance. It's a Harbor Hawks debut, a day of debuts. Jared Jenkins, a rising senior from Dallas Baptist, a 4.88 earned run average in 51 2/3 innings this past spring, but 49 strikeouts, so he's been very good. The walks per nine at 4.2, a fastball, curveball, cutter mix, and just anything, Gio, to try to get these Cotuit hitters off balance.
Yeah, and it comes after an outing for Chandler Dorsey. 2 innings, another tumultuous outing for him. 5 hits, 2 runs, just 2 Ks and a walk. And again, we keep coming back to free passes, Max. And Cotuit hasn't needed them to tag 5 runs on Hyannis in this game. And for Jared Jenkins, it's a pitch mix that features that fastball sitting 92-94, curveball cutter for the Dallas Baptist product. Curveball 78-80, 91 on the 90-91 on the cutter, top out 93. We'll see if he goes to that latter breaking pitch to try and fool Cotuit batters. That's a ball they haven't seen all day.
It's interesting to see the cutter so similar in terms of velocity. You don't always see that, and that can work to an advantage and disadvantage of a pitcher. Of course, the advantage being blown away with the heat. The disadvantage being if they're sitting on the fastball, they get a cutter. The speed is similar. They can make it the adjustment during the pitch.
And it doesn't move like a slider. It doesn't move like a curveball. You don't have that serious break like you would on one of those pitches. So a bit similar to a fastball in that respect, as you said.
He's going to face 2-3-4. Caden Bogenpole swings to the first pitch. Cutter. 0-1. And as we mentioned, it's been the bottom half of the order for Cotuit that has done the damage. A lot of RBIs down there. The 7-8-9 hitters responsible for all the runs in this game. 0-1 curveball in their first strike right on the outer half. 2 refreshing pitches to start off the outing for Jared Jenkins.
The other part of that conversation, Max, on the shocking end of things for Cotuit.
0-2. Curveball misses down low.
Is that it's stranded multiple runners in 2 of the 6 innings. It's stranded runners in 3 of the 6 as well.
Cotuit has hit safely in each of the first 6 innings tonight. On a 1-2 pitch, there's a fly ball to center field. Charlie Bates straight away over to his left a couple steps. Reels in the first out of the inning.
And even the outs like that one for Caden Bogenpole have been hard hit and well-placed balls, and just some good plays by the Hyannis defense to only keep it at a 5-run game.
It's Ryan Farber, the switch hitter, who's batted left-handed all 3 times tonight, and will do it the 4th time here against Jared Jenkins. First pitch, curveball down in the dirt, and he jumps ahead of ball and no strikes. As mentioned, Gabe Camacho coming in for Ray Velasquez.
You merged him there, Max.
I've been doing that a lot lately.
Camacho back at his typical post, and Velasquez gets the back half of the game off. He's typically at third base as well, but Miles Davis has held down the fort in the hot corner in his first game.
2-0 the count to Ryan Farber. And the pitch from Jenkins is a fastball up and away. 3 balls and no strikes to the switch hitting lefty. Hyannis has walked 2 today, but both walks have resulted in runs. It's been kind of the story of this losing streak for Hyannis. 3-0 fastball right in the outside corner, 3 balls and a strike. Just the free passes, even when they've been few and far between tonight and last night, at least so far tonight, they've been very costly
It's because they haven't been timely. They're usually after 2 outs for Hyannis. That's been the case tonight.
3-1 fastball off the plate, ball 4.
And now you get the third walk of the game after 1 out. You cannot let it get to the most difficult part of the order. And for Jack Natili, who comes to the plate now, fresh off a Cape League Player of the Week honor, he's the only Kettleer in this game to not reach base, surprisingly.
Natili, 2 punch-outs and a 6-4-3 inning-ending twin killing in the 3rd inning. Harbor Hawks looking to roll 2 once more. First pitch spiked outside. Nice stop by Brody Briggs on the backhanded pick. A 5-0 Cotuit lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning at Lowell Park. It's getting late, and Hyannis has had no answer for this pitching staff. But all Jared Jenkins can do is throw up a donut. With Farber on first, the 1-0 pitch is fouled back to the screen. Natili on first. Farber on first. Natili at the plate. And a 1-1 pitch from the right-handed Jenkins is a pitch off the outside corner. Try to dot that cutter, but it's no avail. 2-1 as the count swings in the favor of Cotuit.
This is an interesting juncture for Jared Jenkins' first outing because he knows that the pressure's on him to get it back to the bats and try and erase this deficit.
Big lead at first, and there's a ground ball to shortstop. Jake Schaffner to the backhand against the grain, goes to second for 1. The throw to first gets away from Camacho. Natili will remain at first base on the 6-4 fielder's choice, but a big out number 2 here in the 7th inning.
And now every Kettleer in the lineup has reached base at least once in this game. A good effort from Jake Schaffner, falling backwards into left field to get that to Ryan McKay out of the Jeff Luigi at second base. And a difficult throw onto first, given that Schaffner's ball a little bit off the bag for Luigi, who came on to cover. And now a chance for Natili with 2 outs to become home with Nolan Stevens.
Stevens a double back in the 4th inning. Left-handed hitter. First pitch cutter on the back door. 0-1. 6 left-handed hitters for Cotuit in the starting 9 and a switch hitter. Stevens and Cam Johnson on deck. Back-to-back lefties for Cotuit. On an 0-1 pitch, Stevens takes a fastball on the inside corner and falls behind 0-2. To the count, and the pitch is in the air, foul off to the right, out of play. He was way out ahead. That one over the fat part of the plate.
He got a bit trigger happy there because that pitch was in a perfect spot for a lefty hitter to hit it out of the hand of a righty. A breaking pitch on the inner corner. You get it around in time, and rather, a bit later than Stevens did there. That could be out of the park.
0-2 pitch is low. It gets away from Briggs, but a late jump for Natili, who will remain at first base. Definitely a pass ball opportunity there.
He couldn't quite see it because of where Stevens, the batter, was standing. Briggs was looking for it. It goes behind the home plate umpire, but Natili was already frozen along the base paths.
Jared Jenkins ahead 1-2. And the fastball is smoked through the right side and into right center field. That's a base hit. Jack Natili going to go first to third as it's cleaned into the infield. Cotuit remains lively with 2 outs in the inning. Runners at the corners and Cam Johnson coming up.
And this ties the season high in hits allowed for Hyannis on July 8th against Bourne with 12. And they've all been very good pieces of hitting for Cotuit. A lot of them up the gaps, a couple the other way, a couple of long balls that haven't dropped for hits as well. Cotuit has put bat to ball all night long.
Jared Jenkins looking for his first K of the day. Only 3 appearances in 22 games without a strikeout for the right-hander this past spring at Dallas Baptist. First pitch is grounded to Jeff Luigi at second. Gets a nice long hop and slings to first in time, which strands 2 runners on the inning. Well, to the top of the 8th inning, it's getting late. 5-0 Cotuit.
Cape Cod Healthcare.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Jake Schaffner looking to change the narrative for Hyannis. It's the top of the order for Mitch Carricker going up against Tyler Albanese. Schaffner 0 for 3 out of that post at the top spot of the order. Harbor Hawks, the hits have been few and far between. They're out hit by Cotuit 12-4, and they trail 5-0 here in the top of the 8th inning. And in this one, Gio, it's getting late. They're just looking for base runners, and they're looking to execute.
Yeah, Cotuit pitching has faced the minimum the 3rd time through the Hyannis order. Now a fresh look for Jake Schaffner at Tyler Albanese, who he hasn't seen yet after Bo Simpson went 5 innings and struck out 6 in a scoreless performance. For Hyannis, it hasn't been as many strikeouts. They haven't walked as much for sure. There's only 4 hits at this point in the game. To be frank, they haven't seen the ball well.
Jake Schaffner, a strikeout in the 1st, a ground out in the 3rd, and a flyout in the 5th. In danger of losing a 3-game hitting streak. First pitch from Albanese is a fastball fouled off to the left and out of play. Schaffner had a big left-on-left double in the 9th inning last night. Looked to continue that momentum today, but nothing to show for it so far. 0-1 the count, and the pitch to Jake is a slider on the inside corner, and a 0-2 hole for Schaffner, the incoming UNC transfer. Albanese, a rising sophomore at San Jose State out of Redlands, California, just a bit south of LA. 0-2 curveball is swatted foul off to the left. A 4.09 ERA in 11 innings entering this outing against Hyannis. That has most certainly been dropped so far. Now at 3.46. Schaffner looking for some life in Mitch Carricker's Harbor Hawks. It's been a tough July for Hyannis and a red-hot one for Cotuit. They have a 5-0 lead here in the 8th, and the pitch is launched to right field, and Nolan Stevens comes in by the warning track to make the catch for out number 1.
And all told, for Hyannis, as bad as this stretch has been for it, still haven't been shut out yet this season. They're on pace for that here with just 5 outs left to erase that 0 on the scoreboard. And, of course, in the fusion of novelty, Miles Davis could be just what it needs.
Right-handed hitter facing the right-handed pitcher, and the slider misses outside. Davis a walk back in the 1st inning, a deep fly out in the 3rd to center field, and then a 5-4 fielder's choice in which he beat out a ground ball double play back in the 5th. 0 for 2 with that walk in his Harbor Hawks and Cape League debut. Said it's his first time out in Mass, first time on the Cape as well. So just excited to get in there and make a difference for Mitch Carricker's squad that needs any sort of new life electricity that they can get during this skid. On a 2-0 pitch, Davis hits one high in the air to right center field. The center fielder, Bogenpol, is called off by the right fielder, Stevens, who makes the catch for out number 2. Back-to-back F9s. And Ryan McKay coming up here with 2 outs in the inning. 5-0 Kettleers over the Harbor Hawks. They've tripled Hyannis in the hits category. 12 hits to Hyannis' 4. Ryan McKay, a guy who knows a thing or two about getting a hit at the plate, but he's 0 for 3 today. Batting average has dipped down to .313. That just shows how good he's been for Hyannis. First pitch from Albanese is a fastball at 92, right at the bottom of the zone, and he jumps ahead, a ball and no balls and a strike.
That fastball's been sitting 93, 94 from Albanese, and the location is arguably better than the consistency in its velocity.
0-1 the count, and the slider misses down low. Count level at 1 from Albanese.
We have some Harbor Hawks news as well. First Harbor Hawk taken in the Major League Baseball draft is Jamie Arnold, taken by the Oakland A's, or rather soon to be Las Vegas A's, at 11.
1-1 is grounded slowly to second base. Ryan Farber charging in, goes glove to glove. In time. Hyannis goes down in order. We just talked about Miles Davis' first time being in Mass. Our Ava Fernandez was able to catch up with him before the game.
And with that, start our 50-50 raffle. We've got all the winning numbers here. Don't forget the winners. Please pick up your prizes at the office in the Arnold Mycock building. Five, 2-1.
Welcome you back to the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Unfortunately, some technical difficulties with Ava Fernandez's conversation with Miles Davis, but let's touch on the recent news, Max. Jamie Arnold, a 2023 Harbor Hawk, just drafted by the Athletics, 11th overall. Had a stellar couple of seasons at Florida State, but for Hyannis in 2023, he was a Cape League All-Star in 11 games pitched for the Harbor Hawks, an ERA a shade under 3 at 2.95 in 18 1/3 innings. How about this, Max? 7 walks in 79 batters faced. That walks per 9 at 3.4. Incredible stuff with a 10.3 strikeouts per 9 as well. And Arnold delivered another remarkable season for Florida State. First team All-ACC selection, 2.98 ERA for the Seminoles this season. 15 games pitched, 84 2/3 innings, just 7 home runs allowed, 27 walks, 119 strikeouts, top 5 in the ACC.
And look at those home run numbers, Gio. With the metal bats, a 0.7 home runs per 9 and 84 2/3 innings. That'll play in the big league level with only wood bats at the play. It'll be 7-8-9 Luke Matthews, Case Sanderson, and Easton Winfield to face Jared Jenkins. And this part of the order, as mentioned, all the stakes in this game, an RBI, 2 RBIs for Matthews, an RBI for Case Sanderson on deck, and then 2 RBIs for Easton Winfield. A 5-0 Cotuit lead as the first pitch misses outside, and the 1-0 offering is at the top of the zone with that cutter.
And Arnold to close the book on the newly drafted Athletic. He was number 4 on the top 250 and the third pitcher. Rather, the second pitcher. So that just shows you how good Cade Anderson was for LSU.
1-1 pitch is a breaking ball just a bit upstairs, 2-1.
He's headed to the Seattle Mariners. And Arnold, not your typical ace build. You know, Paul Skeens is 6'6", so that's 100 miles an hour. Arnold at 97 and 6'1", but he's got a 3/4 delivery that gives him plenty of deception as he whips it.
Matthews takes a 2-1 fastball on the outside corner, and the count even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. A 5-0 Kettleers lead here in the last of the 8th inning, looking for more insurance. They've hit safely in each of the first 7 innings. And the 2-2 fastball is swung on and missed, strike 3. When we mentioned there's only 3 appearances for Jared Jenkins this past spring in 22 games where he did not record a strikeout, and more of the same for the Dallas Baptist product.
He gets one here of arguably the toughest out in this order so far, with Luke Matthews scoring 2 runs tonight on 2 trips to the base paths, a single and a walk. And that could be the juice he needs to get Hyannis out of this bottom of the 8th and to the top of the 9th to try and erase a 5-run deficit.
Case Sanderson takes downstairs with the curveball, 1-0. Halfway to the cycle, but unlikely he'll have any chance to complete it. A single back in the first, a strikeout in the 4th, but then an RBI double and the 6th. He scored a run in this game as well. On a 1-0 pitch, Sanderson grounds it to second base. Jeff Luigi charges it, and on the high hop, he throws to first in time for the second out of the inning.
I noticed that Jenkins has found his spot in this inning very well. Looks like the pitches are going where he's intended it to, and that's indicative of the command with the fastball especially that Mitch Carricker so seeks from his pitching staff that frankly hasn't been here the last couple of games.
It's Easton Winfield, who's also halfway to that cycle mark. An RBI double back in the 6th, but a single in the 5th. First pitch, fastball is swatted in the air, foul off to the left.
Foul balls, yours to keep, courtesy of Cotuit Liquors.
Cotuit in danger of going down 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. As mentioned, they've hit safely in each of the first 7 innings at the plate. An 0-1 count from Jared Jenkins, and the fastball is fouled into the mid of Brody Briggs, and a 0-2 advantage for the Harbor Hawk on the mound.
There's that cutter for Jared Jenkins. Dials up at 91 miles per hour. That's about where it sits for the righty out of Dallas Baptist. So difficult to hit righty on lefty.
Base is empty and 2 outs. The 0-2 offering from Jenkins in the windup. And the pitch is a fastball swatted foul off to the left. We'll do it again at 0-2. 5-0 Cotuit in the bottom of the 8th inning. Base is empty for Easton Winfield. The 0-2 offering, curveball off the outside corner. And 1-2 count coming up to Winfield, the designated hitter tonight.
You can see Jenkins is kind of pitching around Winfield, knowing that he's had such success tonight with 3 hits.
On a 1-2 count, Winfield ropes it down the right field line. That's a fair ball. And he's off to the races. It's cleaned up by Devin Mitchell, who has a great read and fires it in quickly.
And Winfield fell on his way to second base. He was going to stretch that. He now walks gingerly down the first base line. He was limping on that right leg as he sprung up from the infield dirt. And that's the risk you take if you're Jared Jenkins of giving Easton Winfield a pitch to hit. Even if it's on the outer half to the lefty, he could still get around it and deposit it into right field just like he did. And he's got the toughness to stay on first base despite being a little shaken up.
And we have a pinch hitter for Dean West, the top of the order. It'll be Andrew Wiggins, who's played in both games against Hyannis. He hit that grand slam to kind of twist the dagger against Hyannis, and that run will win on July 2nd. Also a great saxophone player.
Saw him play the national anthem here on June 21st at Lowell Park.
He's in the portal, but he was a rising sophomore at Indiana. First pitch cutter on the outside corner, 0-1.
Wouldn't you know, that grand slam remains the only home run of the season for Andrew Wiggins.
Long pause on the hill with Winfield on first, and the fastball misses up and away. Count level at a ball and a strike each.
But for Cotuit, this is a maybe play to get more runs across with 2 outs, as Wiggins is second on the team with 20 stolen bases in 22 attempts.
1-1 the count, and the fastball misses down low. 2-1 as it swings in Wiggins' favor.
And maybe more impressive for Cotuit is the fact that Nolan Stevens not only has more than that with 22 steals, but that he hasn't been caught.
2-1 is golf to left field, and that's in front of Sawyer Black for a base hit. So a pinch hit single for Wiggins as Cotuit looks to buy some insurance. That's now 14 hits on the night.
And before we get on, I got to correct myself. I was reading the strikeout column, not the steal column. Again, 20 bags would be quite remarkable at this point in the season. But Wiggins has still got 2 stolen bags of his own. And so he's a threat for the double steal here as Caden Bogenpole comes to the plate. We've seen a couple of powerful outs from him tonight to go along with a single and a strikeout.
First pitch is roped on the ground and past Jeff Luigi into right center field. Winfield will score. Wiggins trying to go first to third. He'll do just that. That's Cotuit buys insurance here in the last of the 8th inning. A 6-0 Kettleers lead, and they pour it on against Hyannis.
One commonality in 3 of the 4 scoring innings tonight for Cotuit is that all of them have comebacks with 2 outs. You get that 2 outs, then the walk in the 2nd. 2 outs, then another walk in the 6th to start the rally. And in the 8th with 2 outs, Cotuit starts a rally just as it has all night long with clutch hitting. Easton Winfield ropes a single into right, Wiggins with another of his own, and Bogenpole with a powerful single up the middle to stretch the lead.
Ryan Farber has batted left-handed as the switch hitter all 4 times tonight. He'll do that here the 5th time up. And the first pitch, cutter down low for ball 1. Wiggins now on third with Bogenpole on first. Another run home for the Kettleers. The 1-0 cutter right on the back door. He's got pinpoint location there, and the count level at 1. A 6-0 Cotuit lead, as they've bought insurance here in the 8th. 15 hits to Hyannis' 4. And a 1-1 pitch coming up to Ryan Farber is on the ground and into the outfield to the right side. Wiggins comes in to score a 7th Cotuit run as they play station to station, and Bogenpole moves up to second base.
4 consecutive singles for the Kettleers. Super impressive the way they're seeing Jared Jenkins right now. And he needs to be calmed down, and that's exactly what pitching coach Blaze Martinez will try to do.
The wheels have come off for Hyannis, and just based on the way the outfield, or rather the hitters have done, this one almost seems unreachable. And as we mentioned, Hyannis still yet to be shut out this season. That could very much so change with more luck going against them.
Baldwin Group is proud to be the official insurance partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit baldwin.com/RogersGray.
Winfield now on second base with Farber on first. 16 hits for the Kettleers tonight. Jack Natilli, really the only one who's not joined in on the hit party, is 0 for 4 with a pair of punch-outs and a 6-4-3 double play that ended the 3rd inning. But a chance to change that narrative here with a man on second and a man on first and 2 outs in the inning. First pitch from Jenkins is launched to left center field. That falls in front of Sawyer Black. Winfield gets the wave home. The throw comes to the third base, and the tag comes in late as Winfield comes into score.
"17 hits, by far the most this season for Hyannis, and they've all come pretty similarly against Jared Jenkins, with pitches that he was hitting in the first frame of work in the 7th. Despite that damage allowed, he got himself out of it with the ground ball contact, and that same location just hasn't been there after a quick first 2 outs of this 8th.
Now Ryan Farber at third, Jack Natilli at first. Nolan Stevens at the plate. 3 runs home for Cotuit, and the first pitch curveball clips the outside corner, and a 0-1 advantage for Jared Jenkins. 5 consecutive singles for the Kettleers here in the 8th inning. Still 2 outs, but 17 hits on the day. 0-1 is in the air to left center field. Sawyer Black on the run. He makes the catch. But a bombardment of hits for Cotuit. They've bought the insurance they needed. An 8-0 Kettleers lead as we head to the 9th.
Owning a home means you can protect your family and put down roots in a community you care about. It gives you a place to celebrate the joys of daily living and be together during tough times. But for many on Cape Cod, home ownership is slipping further out of reach. Help make sure the American dream is available to the teachers, public safety professionals, and all the other people who make the Cape a special place. Visit capehousingmatters.org to find out more.
We've made it to the top of the 9th inning. An 8-0 Cotuit lead. Hyannis looking to just string a couple hits together as they're going to try to let Tyler Albanese close out this game and go for the 4-inning save. Of course, the save denotes 3 or more innings, so that's the opportunity here for Albanese. And it'll be Devin Mitchell, the newcomer, who's had a couple games for Hyannis, Jeff Luigi, Charlie Bates. Anybody gets on Brody Briggs a chance. Hyannis has gone down in order in 4 consecutive innings. As Mitchell comes up to the plate, 17 hits on the game for Cotuit.
Leading off, number 28, Devin Mitchell.
4 times more than Hyannis at 4.
Lawrence Darlington Technical Junior College.
Mitchell 0 for 3 with 2 punch-outs. An incoming transfer to NC State from Florence Darlington Tech College, JUCO. And the first pitch fastball from Albanese clips the corner, 0-1. Strikeouts in the first and the 4th inning for Mitchell, and then a flyout to left field back in the 6th. Cotuit has hit safely in all 8 innings they come up to the plate as Mitchell takes down low, 1-1.
And meanwhile, for Albanese, it's one thing to ask him for 3 innings and a save, but the last 12 Harbor Hawks have gone down in order.
1-1 the count, and the pitch is chopped foul outside the third base line. 1-2 to Devin Mitchell. He had .399 at Florence Darlington Tech. 12 home runs, 54 RBIs. Albanese a long pause from the stretch. He comes home for the 1-2, and the fastball at 91 misses way upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. An 8-0 Kettleers lead here in the top of the 9th inning. Albanese looking to close it out. And a 4-out save. 4-inning save, I should say. On a 2-2 count, Mitchell swings and misses strike 3. Really good slider, and nothing but air for Mitchell for out number 1.
And he has really struggled tonight with strikeout number 3 for him, as you mentioned, Max. But how about Tyler Albanese? They've got to give some credit to Cotuit, where it's very much due for this pitching staff of just Bo Sampson and Tyler Albanese thus far. They've really had great command with the fastball tonight, and the strikeout number 7 of the outing.
That's only the first strikeout of the game for Albanese, as there's a chopper to first base, a foul ball. And Albanese hasn't needed the strikeout. He's been getting quick outs, and that's really all that matters.
Really shocking to hear that he hasn't had a strikeout yet.
Until then.
Right, just until then. But only 2 groundouts as well, so it's not like Hyannis has not put bat to ball. It's really, really difficult to have none of those drop for you.
It's just been a lot of weak contact tonight, Gio, from the Hyannis bats. 1-1 the count, and the pitch to Luigi is downstairs. Now it's a 1-1. I apologize. Luigi, a rising sophomore at Duke. Blue Devils. On the 1-1, he takes a curveball up and away, and the count swings in Jeff's favor. 2 balls and a strike with 1 out in the inning. Hyannis has left 6 on base tonight. 2-1 fastball to Luigi, right at the knees. And 9 left on base for Cotuit.
And that location with the fastball is what's made Tyler Albanese so great tonight. Go low and inside on a lefty. Doesn't come in all too hot at 90 miles per hour, but it's a really impossible pitch to swing at.
2-2 pitch to Luigi, bounces in. A nice stop behind the plate by Jack Natilli. And Andrew Wiggins remains in the game for Dean West at left field. Count is full at 3-2. Only 2 walks on the day issued by Kettleers pitching. Here's the full count pitch. Luigi rips it to center on a line, and a late break, and it gets by the center fielder Bogenpole. It's off to the races for Luigi. He's around second. He's heading for 3. The throw comes into second base. He gets held up there with a triple on the miscue slip from Caden Bogenpole.
Some piece of hitting for Jeff Luigi to break a streak of 13 Harbor Hawks in a row retired for the Cotuit Kettleers pitching staff. And it's a second triple in a couple of days for Jeff Luigi with just a perfect spot as well on a play that Caden Bogenpole probably makes 7-8 times out of 10. He just slips on the outfield grass, and that inadvertent bounce, unfortunate for the Kettleers outfielder. And he'll now be checked on by a couple of trainers. He really took a tumble to the grass.
Yeah, he did. A couple trainers walking out to him.
And as we wait here with 1 out and Luigi on third in this 8-0 game, the Boston Red Sox have just made their selection. It's another former Cape Leaguer in Kyson Witherspoon. Righty out of Oklahoma, spent some time with Chatham a summer ago before leaving for Cary, North Carolina to join Team USA. Twin brother Malachi also pitches at Oklahoma and is draft eligible. So the Sox on a red-hot streak right now, shade under 10 wins in a row. Now tabbing an Oklahoma Sooner to be their newest member.
That was some walk-off home run the other day from Sadon Rafaela.
Yeah, the Sox are hot right now.
Guess to your chagrin as a Yankees fan, Gio.
Yes, but I do know there are Red Sox fans listening and on our team, i.e. Daniel Bottolino, who've endured a lot this season. It's a good team.
Jeff Luigi on third. Charlie Bates at the plate with 1 out. Bogenpole looks to be okay. First pitch fastball swung through for strike 1.
And 8 runs, certainly an uphill battle. But make no mistake that even a couple runs plated across would be very good for Hyannis and going forward.
0-1, and the Stanford Cardinal takes down in the dirt. Count level at a ball and a strike apiece.
Never a good feeling to be shut out. Much of the Cape has been shut out already. It'd be something to take from this game that Hyannis is still able to muscle a couple runs across, even with their back against the wall in the 9th.
Count level at 1. Albanese comes home. Bates takes a fastball low. 2-1, and Hyannis, if the score holds, will drop to under 500 for the first time this summer. It's just been that type of July for the Harbor Hawks. 2-1 pitch to Bates is a fastball that clips the outer half, and the count even up at 2-2 with 1 out in the inning. Hyannis in danger of being shut out for the first time this summer, but Jeff Luigi at third base with 1 out in the inning here in the 9th. On a 2-2 count, Charlie Bates takes way up and away. The catcher, Jack Natilli, out of the crouch.
Go ahead, Max. Seeing a bit of the fatigue here from Tyler Albanese. All I was going to say to your point that he's missed very wide the last couple of pitches.
Full count pitch to Bates is chopped to second base. This will score a run. Ryan Farber to first. And the Harbor Hawks streak lives in terms of not being shut out. They plate one in the 9th inning, and that'll make it an 8-1 game.
Very impressive to not have been shut out to this point. Now in game 24 of the Cape League season. Most of the league has been shut out to this point, and Hyannis, a very good job to not get that here if it's any consolation from this likely blowout loss.
Brody Briggs with 2 outs and nobody on. 2 hours and 30 minutes in right now. First pitch to Brody's a fastball at the knees. 0-1 to the Arizona State Sun Devil. 2 runs in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 6th, and 3 in the 8th for Cotuit. Hyannis the lone run here in the 9th. An 0-1 count Albanese in the stretch. Righty comes home, and the fastball in an identical location at the bottom of the zone gets Briggs behind, 0-2.
And the flip side of not being shut out for Hyannis is now it's a lone blemish for Tyler Albanese, who has done a remarkable job in relief of Bo Sampson, trying to get out of this with Lauren Hibbs only using 2 arms for the game.
0-2 the count. The pitch to Briggs is taken a little bit low. That one dropped by Jack Natilli. Should he have caught that ball, that might have been strike 3. So it might have bought Briggs another pitch. Briggs singled back in the second, walked in the fourth, and grounded out in the 7th. 8 runs on 17 hits for the Kettleers. 1 run on 5 for Hyannis. 1-2 pitch to Briggs is a curveball looping upstairs. 2-2. Two walks on the day for Kettleers pitching and 3 for Hyannis. So I guess as Hyannis tries to turn a page, at least on the pitching side, the offense just falls ice cold. 2-2 to Briggs is in the air, foul off to the left, out of play by the parking lot where there's already been a couple cars fallen victim to balls.
After a Ryan McKay foul ball over the third base line, we heard an alarm for at least 10 minutes before someone realized the likely unfortunate news.
Yeah, park at your own risk at Lowell Park. On a 2-2 count, Briggs golfs it down the first base line out ahead. We'll do it again. Nobody on and 2 away here in the 9th inning. An 8-1 Cotuit lead. Albanese going to try to go for the 4-inning save. His 63rd pitch is a fastball that, again, is botched by the catcher, Jack Natilli, right at the bottom of the zone. Probably a 50-50 chance, but not able to make the catch.
Pretty good location, a toss-up of a call, and a good take from Brody Briggs to run the count full.
Full count coming up to Brody Briggs, who worked a walk back in the 4th inning. Albanese, the right-hander in the stretch. He kicks and fires. It's a fastball at the knee, strike 3 called, and that ends the ball game. Well, Cotuit blows out Hyannis 8-1 tonight. 8 runs on 17 hits and 1 error. Hyannis 1 run here in the 9th inning on 5 hits and 1 error. And it was one really since the first pitch of the game, Gio, that Hyannis just didn't have much momentum.
Cotuit's pitching had all the momentum from start to finish. Just 2 arms used for Lauren Hibbs and the Kets in this blowout win. Bo Sampson, the lefty, got it started with 5 innings of 4-hit ball, and then 1 hit across 4 innings for Tyler Albanese. A couple of Ks and no walks. He put down the first 11 batters he faced, Max. And until Jeff Lugi's triple into Charlie Bates's sacrifice in the 9th inning, it was going to be a clean sheet for him and indicative of how good Cotuit's location was tonight. But to turn the script to the Hyannis bats, an order that featured more righties in the top 4 of the order than we've seen at any point this season, and they've struggled to see the baseball and put more than weak contact on it, Max. Only 8 strikeouts, and we say only 8 strikeouts to indicate that with 5 hits and 1 run, you might expect a little more, given that Hyannis struck out 10 times a night ago against Wareham. But make no mistake, Hyannis is in its worst slump of the summer, and it's not getting prettier.
Well, for our entire production crew, from the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, for our producers, Daniel Bottolino, Charlie Adams, and Sam Montag, for our sideline reporters, Ava Fernandez and Ethan Wax, for my broadcast partners, Graham Nash and Giovanni Collada, I'm Max Schwartzberg saying thank you so much, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.